Oh Lord, we gotta do something different. Go back. Let's go back. Shout out to Smoker. He did a lot of people music. I just want to make sure I give him that respect. Shout out to Critical Smoker.
My people, you are tuned into burgundy blue commentary live from Dalton, Illinois. My people, you are tuned into burgundy blue commentary live.
Shout out to Robbie for City High. We got to talk about this.
My people, you are tuned into burgundy blue commentary live from Dalton, Illinois. My people, you are tuned into burgundy blue commentary live from Dalton, Illinois.
Hey, Shoes. Hey, Cynthia. Brandon. Where you been? Probably working because you're working. Nothing serious. Nothing serious, y'all. If y'all gotta go back, gonna get to that $19.99 live stream goal. Yes, I have a live stream goal because I don't have a big channel. This Burgundy Blue commentary has always been a stream of income for me. But I changed what I was making, which I was making something. Not a lot. When Shay came, I made more. Thank God for you guys. Like when Choose came, when Shay came, when Rico came, when Critical came, when I give everybody credit. Trina, everybody, when they came, when Hannibal came, I got more. Not a lot. You gotta get tens of thousands of views to get a lot. So I went with it. It started. Jazzy! Hey Cynthia. Jazzy, my love. JJ, what's up everybody? Hit that like button. You hear Choose? Choose don't be playing. She give out whoopings around here. I just want to talk about what I see going on. Nothing crazy. If I miss you, don't think it was blaming on my head, not my heart. Because I'm tired of talking about Dalton, and I live here. I'm tired of talking about it. When we get to 20 people, we're going to go live. Okay, y'all? I'm not trying to make my people hold on. Just, I'm doing something, and I want to see if I can make it. And we got to get to 10 likes. I love this life. I'm going to talk to y'all in between because what I see going on is crazy. I want to address it. My Patreon people, y'all got a huge video I did. I know you ain't had one since April. We don't talk about Dalton on Patreon like that. So this is more on what you guys know me for in the beginning. Hold on. I just moved the website. Y'all be fast. I'm like, can you find this? They're like, it's right here. How do y'all have that? Oh, Jesus. I'm so tired of this. Welcome to Burgundy Blue Commentary. Today, I was at Target, and when I went in Target, one of my friends saw me because it's a high school, it's Thornridge reunion this weekend. So I was like, oh, I'm just grabbing some because I'm working. I'm actually working this weekend, you guys. And before I go into it, hey y'all, hope all is well with you and yours. Welcome to Burgundy Blue Commentary. Y'all, I just walked in from Target, so I might be a little hype. Y'all know how I get hype. And when I get hype, I be like, so I walked in and one of my classmates saw me and they were like, "Did you see what was on YouTube? I mean, what was on Facebook about you?" That was so weird to me for someone to say, "Do you see what was on Facebook about me?" It was so strange. Um, so I want to address that and I want to talk about what's going on the internet. I think it's all a distraction. I want people to put their thinking caps on. You might think that I'm being pompous by saying that. No, put your thinking caps on. Nothing, I'm here in Dalton. As many people told you, remember when y'all met Burgundy, I was a resident of what? Boop, Hammond, Indiana. And I was living in boop. Where was I living in? Can somebody tell me where else I was living in other than Hammond? Where else was I? Please tell me where I was living other than Hammond. I forgot. It was somewhere else. The roughest neighborhood in Chicago. Me with these nails? Me? So hold on. Choose. This link is for you for real. For real. Choose. I'm sitting over here like she lived in first of all, my parents moved us from the hundreds, honey. And there ain't no shade on the hundreds. Love the hundreds. Still go there. 101st in Halsted is the best Harold's you'll ever go to. Is 100. I'm saying 101st. Is 103rd. But if I want Harold's, I go to 103rd or I don't go to 127th anymore. But I will go to yeah, you can get by on 87th day. But if you want some Harold's chicken, go on 103rd and Halsted. What you mean? The roughest side. My parents moved up. Boo boo. We was here before all y'all. I'm just saying that to me. But we was here already. You from the Goddess? First of all, I got no. I can't. Goddess is. I got a Wild Hundreds T-shirt. Goddess, do you remember when the clothing line Wild Wild? I'm put it on YouTube. Do you remember when the clothing line Wild Hundreds came out? I got the short set. I got it. We from the hundreds. We from look and look. Since people want to talk about my birth family, we from the hood. We from the projects. What you want to do? And guess what? Since y'all so talking about Berg, the Pope House is 10 blocks from the projects. Did you hear about that young lady that got slaughtered on 130th? 11 blocks from the Pope House, even though it's Riverdale. You guys have to remember the Pope House is across the street from Riverdale. So I just want to say all that. So this was a little fun intro. I know Chu's gonna say, Berg, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, I'm clasping my pearls. I just wanted to give y'all an intro on it's a time and a place. And I think YouTube should have restrictions on people that can have StreamYard need to hand out restrictions. You can't have a StreamYard if you here. If you here to do that. I think it's bad what's going on. And I'm gonna bring Choose up because Choose, wow, you remember the what? Choose says she remember Wyoming Gardens. I got the little red and white. I got it, Gardens. It was off the chain. Oh, hold on. Before Choose come up, Gardens. I saw our girl Miss Kim 2 days ago. She looking the host with attitude, ran for mayor. That's my girl. I love Miss Kim. Y'all can't make me ever go against her business owner. Hey, Choose, how you doing?
Boo, what's up, everyone? How you doing?
Okay, I can calm down since you're here. How did you enjoy your walk in a nice area?
Nice. And I was so trying to not talk about Dalton. I mean, I was like, I was good to the end. I'm like, oh, Tiffany would have done this, would have been a problem. And I better
Well,
not see no art fairs popping up. But I digress. The rest of the walk was nice. We met some very nice people along the way. So I'm a little bit calm. Well, I'm pretty calm. Who am I kidding?
and this is the whole thing. Choose when you saying you're a bit calm. I say the same thing. I'm like, oh, here we go with nature. Here we go. She gonna come in with the nature. But you really from Dalton. And when people meet me, they like, oh, people think she's so nice. I never told people I was nice. I just said the people here were mean. That's all. I said that y'all mean. Y'all meaner than I could ever be. Y'all mean.
Hey, wasn't that a whole movie? Lindsay Lohan wasn't necessarily a nice girl, but them other girls was mean.
It was mean, girl. I forgot it. And like I was just like, I'm not trying to make, but um this isn't a bad video. I did notice in the summer, everything is for everybody else. I haven't seen much for the kids, unless other districts are giving it, like the library or the park district. But Tiffany from Thornton Township was coming down and throwing down for the kids every month. And I noticed that difference right now in the summer.
Every month. Yeah, and I'm sorry. Can I please just get this out the way?
You have the floor, love. Go ahead.
Is there a murder mystery? Did that happen?
They have
Like,
a murder mystery at the park district with two. Excuse me. Let me get. Cover your ears, you guys. Cover your ears. This is not bird. Two niggas was killed on Easter, and it's a murder mystery in the same park. Yeah, it's weird, and those mysteries haven't been served. I mean, haven't been solved, and the mothers are crying out on Facebook every day. Somebody in Dalton help me. Somebody in Thornton help me, and they're not helping them. And it took them maybe, and it's no shade to them. They had young men. They weren't expecting them to die tomorrow. They had to come up with the money to bury them, and no one helped.
sorry, correct, absolutely correct. So, my question is why? Who in the world would? You know what? Let I was not gonna. I'm gonna say it. Who
Why
in
would
the
it be?
world? Who in the world will have murder mysteries when you have murder mysteries that really need to be solved in real freaking life? See, I didn't even cuss. Real freaking life.
I had to curse because I'm sitting here like that's the worst thing for Dalton. A murder. We don't have a good anything. A murder mystery event. Now I've been to a murder mystery party, but it was
Yeah,
like up north. It was up
yeah.
north somewhere. I was not out here.
Oh, they got a whole murder mystery theater in a place where, guess what, people ain't people ain't murdering people. That's what gives that type of thing. Okay, this is a fun thing to do. It's not fun to do something like that when your community is shitty.
It's
take
not.
that take that literally or figuratively. So yeah, when your community is like that and you having a murder mystery, stop it with the I'm trying to be hood rich. This is some hood rich stuff. Jason, I bet your favorite group is NWA just because you mentioned them. That
Oh,
ain't
I
had nothing to do
forgot
with
about
Tiffany.
that.
That ain't. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. I'm sorry. It's just random stuff popping in my head, because I've been walking on the grass barefoot, grounding and hugging trees after the art fair. So, like, I'm
Yeah.
just curious.
You
Like,
want me
it's
to send you
like,
a video
what?
of me hugging the tree in Dalton?
What?
You want me to send you a video of me hugging a tree in Dalton? You got to pay for my hospital bill afterwards.
Exact. No, 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 no. Because a tree might fall, a branch might. No, no, and you
But
might
we shouldn't
fall.
have any
And
more trees from all that tree cutting Tiffany was doing, so I shouldn't be able to find a tree, right?
well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't, but see, I be hugging the beautifully planted birch trees over
Um,
here and walking in the grass and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a random thought because I remember Jason mentioning NWA, and I'm like, so
Well, we can't
you
hold them
like
against them
NWA.
because we got a minister in the house somewhere that got like 8 degrees.
Man.
I think they said they might have came across an NWA tape. So we they might have saw it in the library and was like, what is this? Because I'm sure that they had no mention to listen to an NWA tape at all. But
Exactly. And I got one. I'm sorry.
no, go
I'm
ahead. No,
one
keep.
more. This is my last one. This is my last one because I came across a post
Mhm.
of, and this is from the Martin Lawrence.
Oh, can
And
you share that? Let me see if I can find it and share because I know you doing butterflies of love and all that stuff. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, this was so genius.
man,
But this what you did made people realize. That's why everybody. We're gonna get to that. That's why everybody's fighting now because it's nothing to fight over. And let me share this, you guys. This was Choose Compassion post, and please subscribe to Choose Compassion. I have only 19 people in here. Check and see if you're subscribed. Please just check and see if you subscribe. It just helps. Um, so choose. Go ahead, choose. I'll let you describe this. I'll bring it up bigger.
oh, it was just my video. I'm not video. It was just a post that I saw over on Facebook with the Martin Lawrence, and he noticed this little kid somewhere, on Facebook. I don't know where it originated, but this was from Facebook. And this is Martin Lawrence himself saying, think this young brother pulled it off better than me. Ha ha. Now, I said on top, this is Martin Lawrence's actual post. So I guess this little boy right here
That little dog is
was
cute.
I guess the little boy was Nino Brown too, right? Whoever talked about that, Valerie,
But
all
who
the old
told her to
people,
dress that way?
and all the old people that know New Jack City. I ain't gonna front because I was.
Hey, choose. We're losing you. Go ahead.
Oh, I
There you go.
said I was probably a teenager or something
Me
when
too. We used to ride home when in Living Color or Martin would come on. We ride home on our bikes. We were.
right, and New Jack City. That was a
Oh, not
little.
New Jack City. I was
No,
talking.
no, I'm talking about Martin.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about Martin.
Okay.
I'm talking about Martin. So, we would come like I see, and I'm a couple years older than you. So I'm in that like in between era. So I was a little bit older, coming home watching Martin. However, it's the old folks, and I include myself. Not as old as Valerie and Mary. I mean, I don't know, but older enough where I remember New Jack City, but I couldn't watch it because I was too young to watch it. So when old folks see it, they might see New Jack City and that's all. But then I know some of y'all same people had to have watched Martin no matter what y'all age was. How in the world? See, this to me is an example of when you want to push a narrative, no matter what anybody said, she was Nino Brown. So if y'all want to argue now, because I ain't going for none of that Nino Brown bull stuff. Tiffany Henyard was doing this, what this little boy doing, and if she was doing Nino Brown, then he doing Nino Brown. Now go argue with Martin Lawrence. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I agree because my whole thing is Tiffany was doing the Wizard of Oz. Nobody said nothing. Tiffany was doing Forrest Gump. They wasn't saying that she was making fun of people with disabilities. So when it got to this, it was like, oh, she's acting like a drug kingpin. Whoever told her to do it fell for it because she was doing those skits the whole time before the board meetings. That's what she brought, like something young
New and fresh?
and fresh. Now, my thing is, as a resident, ain't no young people coming there. Now they are, but when she was doing it, they weren't coming there. So they were able to report back and say, "Oh, she's taking our money to put her hair and her makeup." That's where the hair and makeup, in my opinion, came from. She's getting her wigs done. Now, people sitting there with a wig talking about she has a wig was weird for me. I was just like, "You got a wig too," but because I guess her wig is highlighted, is wrong.
Don't
So,
make me laugh.
no, I mean it was just weird. So
No,
now
I'm
we got,
saying it, that's why I'm laughing because it was a very strange event to be wig, wig,
oh,
wig, wig, wig.
hold on, we got to boost somebody from our life, from our entire life. Oh, sir, whoever you are, sir, it was nice knowing you. Look, bum, bum, bum. Take the wrench away. Take the wrench away. He said, Garden said, unpopular opinion. I did not think Martin's show was very funny. Sue me. You will be sued in Markham. Like where I took Jen. Where I took Jen. I'm taking you to Markham. See how it go. We love
Man,
you, Marcus.
yeah, hey, it's okay because hey,
We
see,
love Garden
hey,
is
Drew, I
so
was
funny.
younger. I was younger. I was a married woman.
I was young
So,
too. So it
so for
oh
me,
no,
watch
Garden
them.
is our age. Why you
No,
didn't think Martin was funny? That's weird. Garden,
card.
you got a couple of years on us. You didn't, maybe 1 year on me. You ain't think Martin was funny? Oh, you know what? That's okay.
What? That well, see, we all be in different places. That
Yeah.
that, and that's another good example. We're all in different places. We all have different opinions. You see, like
And we
that's
still
this
get
is
along.
another. Yeah, this is a good example of that. So it's like just take this example of how we're like you and I are like, oh, just Martin's so funny, and then Gardis is like, I didn't think Martin was funny.
Wait,
So,
choose. I got one for you.
hmm,
Did you think School Days was good?
no, I didn't like that.
Garden, did you think School Days was good? Garden, did you think school? Because see, my sister loved School Days, and she was a little older than me, and she loved it. And I was just like, okay, it's the jigaboos and the wannabes, and I don't get it.
Yeah,
Garden, let us know if you thought school. The link is still there. Did you think School Days was good? Because that would say it's just like we missed a year. We missed 2 years. We just missed a in between. But like Choose was saying, we don't have to agree to know each other.
exactly. And because of the different opinion, so I'm supposed to be like, and I'm just using this. This is a really just very simple
Hmm.
just example of how bigger things happen. So because Burgundy and I said are together and we're like, oh, mine was the funniest thing in all of history. And so we're like, Garters, you just you don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna drown you out. We don't want to hear. We don't want to hear. We don't want to hear. We don't. La 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 la. That's what happened in Dalton.
That's
Anyway,
exactly, I want to give Choose the props. It's exactly what happened in Dalton. It was like, we don't want to hear it. So I want to get into some things that's been happening the last couple of days, but I'm not really going to get into it. It's just because I'm so glad that I wasn't clinging to anything. Whether someone came with me or not, I was at those meetings until it came to the end. Oh, hold on, hold on. We got an enemy in the chat. Hold on, let me add the enemy up. And now, Choose, you got your tomatoes? Have your tomato. Tomato, 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 garden. Tomato, tomato,
hey,
tomato.
hey,
Hey,
Garters, what?
garden. We ready for your
Hey.
Black August. I didn't tell you yet, but I'm hoping you give us some for Black August. I'm hoping to make it big.
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell you.
How y'all ladies doing?
We're doing
We're
great.
doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. It's great to talk about something else besides the Southland, but
Oh God.
no, you know what? Here's the thing. So, just like I just posted a few minutes ago, Martin actually was a good comedian. I mean, he's still a good comedian, but I just didn't find his show funny. I
Nothing,
think it was I
artist.
think it was I think it was kind of over the top. And Martin is, like him being a comedian, he didn't like really need a lot of over the top stuff. as a comedian, as a stand-up, he was very good in some of his, some of the comedic roles that he had in movies.
Oh, we lost him. We lost him. He probably was driving. Cause I was gonna ask him, did you really think he was good at Big Mama House? Cause I didn't. I was
Well,
like, what is he doing here?
I don't know, but here's the thing: just from what Gardas just said, see, when we don't drown out voices,
Mm,
we listen and we understand. So guess what? I now, because Gardas said as a comedian, like I watched him as a comedian. So when he was on the show, I found it over the top. Now I you know what I'm saying? That makes sense to me because it is a different experience if, when we see people in, one atmosphere and then they're in another, it's like, huh? I'm used to seeing you here. You're better over here. You see what I'm saying? So just that open dialogue over something, just
it helps. I'm
it,
with you.
right, it helps if this happens when we talk about things that really evoke emotion, and not that this couldn't have, because we could have been like I said, la 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 la, act like, let's just act like Garden, I'm ignoring you.
No, I
I'm
would have
ignoring
doxed artists. I was ready to dox him in the morning. I was like, no, that's it. I'm doxing you.
you.
So,
Oh man,
so
not the Steve, not the Curtis. Just
yeah,
don't say Curtis.
I'm be like,
Oops.
I'm doxing you, Curtis Watts. But but let's talk about, and I'm
Okay.
thinking he's back. Let's bring him up because
Okay. Okay.
artists is, I don't know. We now y'all don't have to tell your age. I'm telling my age. But in 1992, in 1992, I was in fifth grade. In 1990, no, I'm sorry. In 1992, I was in seventh grade, and then in 1993, I was graduating the eighth grade, and that's where the Martin show happened. So maybe it was. I don't know. Let's bring Goddess up. Maybe it was funnier for me because my sister didn't watch it either.
Right. So
Hey, Goddess,
1992, I
what
was
was,
in finishing high school. I was like in my
oh,
third year of high school.
okay. And see, I'm sitting over here like I was in the eighth grade in 1993. So yeah, I thought Martin was funny. Hey, Goddess, you back? We didn't dox you yet. What's up?
Okay, I was like, why
No,
am I
you
not back?
dropped. You just dropped from us.
Oh, I did. I didn't know. I mean, I was like,
No,
what
you
happened here?
you
Cause they
gave us some.
serious about Martin.
Yeah, we was
Okay,
like, no, you out of here.
no. Here's the thing. There were friends that were all like, so. When the Martin Show came on, I was in college,
Hmm.
so there were people who were my age and actually older who loved Martin. I just wasn't. Yeah, I really wasn't into the show like that. Now during that time, my favorite show actually was in Living Color. I loved In Living Color. The Living
Oh,
Color was hilarious. But I
it
mean,
was.
with the Waynes, with the Waynes brothers, I mean, they were comedic geniuses. But
Yeah.
that was the whole thing with comedy. Comedy to me was it was there was various styles that worked well with certain characters. So I'm about to say another unpopular opinion, and it's
Hmm.
not it's not as it's not as bad. But so take somebody like Mike Epps, right?
Hmm.
Now I actually have been to Mike Epps stand-ups. Mike Epps to me is not really that funny as a stand-up comedian. However, as a comedic actor in his movies, he is hilarious. Like his comedy shines a lot better when he's like doing movie roles, especially because Mike Epps has this personality that just is like the stuff he did in the Friday movies. I mean, that was just comedic genius. Now, take for instance somebody like Chris Rock. Chris Rock he's a great stand-up comedian. I don't find him that funny in his comedic roles
I
in his movies. So that's kind of that's kind of the opposite of what Mike Epps is. And you have very few comedians who can do both greatly. You know,
Adam
like
Sandler.
yeah, Adam Sandler, like a Eddie Murphy. They they can shine in all of their roles as comedians. But yeah, there are a few
Can I
comedians who.
ask you something, Gardis? I don't mean to cut you
Mhm,
off, but I
uh-huh,
hate when people say that because they mean to cut you off. But
mhm.
Eddie Murphy, how do you feel about him acting wise versus stand up? I think he could do both.
No. Eddie could do both. Eddie was funny both as a comedic actor and a stand-up. Matter of fact, um, I wish he continued his stand-up career because I think he would have probably, he might have surpassed Richard Pryor if he would have continued his stand-up career. I mean, I still consider Richard Pryor the greatest comedian of all time, and he could have surpassed Richard Pryor, but he gave up his stand-up. He gave up his stand-up too early.
I think so, but it was the suffering that Richard. Look, we'll get to a whole thing, but I will say this about Eddie. I think he deserved that Oscar. I feel like Eddie Murphy is the most popular comedian we know, stand up, film, and they never give him an award. It's weird.
Well, comedians, as you know,
Or Dreamgirls,
comedians.
he should have got an award for sure. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he got nominated, and yeah, he probably should have won. But comics rarely get those type of accolades, like Academy Award, especially with the Academy Award. That's more towards serious actors. Rarely does a comedic actor. If I could remember who was the last comedic actor to win an Academy Award in a comic role. I mean, can you think of one? I can't really think of one right now.
No, but you know what? You know what made me think of somebody that it wasn't a comedy person. So that's why I'm like, let me look it up. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, and I'm glad when you dropped Gardens, what I was saying was about um the experience of seeing Martin in concert, at an actual like comedy, a concert versus TV. I think that does, it's like you see things differently. I saw the Martin show before I ever saw his comedy. And then I know you had said you were like in college. I was in high school and Berg was in finishing junior high. So it's really some interesting perspectives there. But I definitely understand how seeing somebody like on stage doing their craft, because I saw Eddie Murphy, not live, but because my family was watching, so I sneak and watch with them. And so I saw Eddie Murphy do his comedy, and then when Boomerang came out, I ain't like it. I ain't like him in that. But then I started to like him in other stuff. I think I didn't like him till like he started doing like Doctor Doolittle and all that
Oh yeah,
stuff.
well Eddie Murphy has done bombs before, even the prime of his career. There was a movie he did with Dudley Moore called Best Defense, and that
Oh,
movie was
yeah.
trash.
Yeah, I didn't
And
like that.
that was the peak Eddie Murphy too.
Yep, yep,
What about
yep.
it was something he did, Mr. Preacher or someone? He was like the nanny for people, but Eddie
Daddy
Murphy.
daycare.
No, he was. It was like a
Oh,
it's
I
about
know what you're talking about.
Mr.
It
Preacher.
was sort of like a serious type of role that he
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
but
Mhm.
Eddie
Oh,
he tried to sing with Michael Jackson. He tried to. Eddie he's really talented,
oh
and
my goodness.
I actually got to work with Charlie Murphy for 2 years before he
That's
passed
cool.
away. And I have to be honest, Eddie probably will never speak to anybody that know me again. But Charlie was not a great stand-up person. He was a great storyteller. So when his
Oh,
shows came around, it just wasn't the same.
no, and you know what? I think I saw an interview with Charlie Murphy. He said that. He
Oh, he
said that.
did?
Yeah, he said that
Yep.
he tried his hand at comedy and he bombed out.
No,
Yep.
I
He
was
really bombed
interning
out.
with him. I mean, not interning. I was working with him for the last maybe two tours he had in Vegas, and it was really
Hmm.
cool. And
Yeah.
it was, but he was not funny. I was just sitting there like, is this Charlie Murphy from what's the name of that show?
Uh, the, the
Mm.
The Chappelle Show.
Yeah, I was like this
Hmm.
because I wasn't, that's when I met Charlie Murphy.
But like most of these comedians, they always have a rough time when they first start. I mean, I remember when Bernie Mac had started his comedy in the late '70s, and he used to
What?
say, yes, he used to say like it took him a long time to find his routine and his niche, and thankfully he found it in a time where comedy was actually comedians were actually booming again because y'all remember, early '90s is when people started recognizing Bernie Mac. But he said he started in the '70s, and he was like, there were a lot of clubs he got booed out of because that's not an easy job to do. A comic is basically kind of like it's like a mad genius where you basically have to make a whole bunch of people laugh in no matter what mood that they're in because you're going to have a crowd of people who may not be in a laughing mood, but if you're a good comic you could basically kind of draw that out. Eddie Murphy said the same thing. He started his comedy in the early '70s, and there have been times he got kicked out of clubs in LA for being a bad comedian.
Wow. Well, Robin Harris, and then I can tell you guys, it's not a secret. It's on my Facebook, but I actually met Charlie Murphy because of a Dalton resident. Can you guess that comedian?
Oh, D-Ray.
Yeah.
I was about to say D-Ray.
Yeah,
And people
D-Ray.
forget D. Ray Davis is from Dalton, and
Yep.
that's what I just want to lead that to. Like, it's a lot of good talent here in Dalton. We got football players, we got everybody. It's not just now. I will be honest and say Napoleon Harris is a crowd favorite because he's the only one physically here that's a football player. But I have a lot of football players that made it to the NFL that went to Dalton. I mean, went to Thornridge, but he's great. Um,
Um,
but now that we're
um,
getting to this point of him hiding or whoever, because he's not gonna say it's him, hiding a $200,000 salary under a Crohn's disease bill. What do y'all think of? I mean, you don't have to answer, but isn't that weird? I think that's weird.
well, the first thing that I just want to say is if a lot of these women stop looking at Napoleon Harris like, oh man, from that
Oh my God, that's what was that cartoon? Man, I gotta find it. Hold on, I'm finding it right now.
on.
You remember that cartoon, girl? This man,
Yes, I do remember that cartoon.
was that
There
on
was
Tom and
that
Jerry?
that was one of those
It was on a
one old
couple.
old Warner brother. Like a lot of those cartoons now you couldn't play nowadays because
Yeah.
there was some of them were racist, some of them were sexist. It was like you couldn't play them cartoons today.
Remember
And
what?
I know Tom and Jerry did one. It was like a lot of the cartoons end up doing that Bugs Bunny and it was a lot of them. And it was I think it was from I forgot who. I can't I don't know, I can't think right now about that who it but I can't I don't remember where it originated, but because I was a kid, yeah, so it's giving pretty much not only because Napoleon is who we're talking about now, but as we can see when certain men come around, it be like, oh man, and we all gonna gravitate to you. What you say? Yeah, I'm gonna do what you. Yeah, you rescinding the ordinance. Okay, wait a minute. What that mean now? See, stop it.
Well, I'm
Well,
gonna be
That's the only
honest.
commentary I have on that.
I'll
well,
let I'll
Berg,
let
you
that go. Yeah.
you already know my opinion. I've
Well, you
been
said your
telling
opinion a year and a half ago, so yeah, I remember.
exactly. I said my opinion early last year about it, and because the way I look at it is, and this is the same way I look at Tiffany, and I look at everybody, all these other politicians in the Southland. It's not really the personalities, but basically the system of the politics that run the Southland. All of these people, Tiffany, Jason, Napoleon, Clark, all of these people, they run under the same system. I've been saying this for a year now, but I see certain people have been taking my talking points, but you know, um, obviously now they're listening because now we got new people and stuff is still the same. So for me, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I don't see why people are just all in shock. oh my God, he's making the same amount of money. No,
Well,
I told y'all this last year.
Gardis told us this a year and a half ago. And Gardis, I'm actually going to repost that video because I spent all day trying to look for it when you was like, well, I mean, you didn't say anything extravagant. You did, like, because you're Gardis, but you were like, it's not going to be any different. You were telling us that plain and simple. And you were just telling us he's no different than Tiffany. And then when he snuck it under the Crohn's bill, no one's talking about it. But now all of a sudden it's all these distractions where it's YouTubers beef. No, no. Y'all can go ahead and beef with me. I'm not beefing with you because all
Of
of this
course.
happened now with it's just so weird. Like you see he hid something under a Crohn's bills. Where's the advocacy now? But I mean, not just with one person, with everybody. When people are saying, I'm not going for that. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Where's all that at? He came in. Frank never started at 100,000. Let's say we're gonna deplete it with the what do you call it? Inflation. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
Frank came in with $100,000. He never did. He started at what the salary was and worked his way up to 200,000. He died, unfortunately, and Tiffany inherited that $200,000. Y'all beat her to the Pope, and then now Napoleon get the 200,000. What is this?
Hmm.
First term supervisor, he gets it, but that's the problem with being a senator and it's a problem.
Well, well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, technically, there, and if I could recall,
Hmm.
there is some sort of Illinois law of running multiple positions. However, the positions can't be in conflict with one another. So that's why you're able to do these particular things, and the supervisor's position basically conflicts doesn't conflict with any other position because of the fact that when you're talking about a township, um, we're not talking about a municipality like a city or village because of the fact that while they have laws, or I mean not laws, but while they have codes and certain things, it's more for the services that they provide for. So they don't, like they don't like have any ordinances that deal with like driving or how many what parties you can have and having licenses for businesses because that's what the township doesn't do anything. They're doing any of those things. So um, you can be the mayor of a village inside of Thornton Township because technically, I'm just saying technically, it doesn't conflict with being the supervisor.
Right.
And direct conflict is like, for instance, if you're the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois, that's a conflict
So what's the
because
difference with a senator of Illinois and a supervisor of Thornton Township? What do you feel the difference is?
well, see, the senator is basically a voting body of the legislation and but they can also to initiate certain policies as well. However, the voting board of the Senate, along with the Illinois General Assembly, has to vote on the law. So basically, it's more policy driven, but obviously the policy has to have a particular vote. So this is why um, in technical terms, it's not really a conflict, even though theoretically it could be, because I mean, obviously, we see it coming to fruition right now.
So
Like
can I ask you
Napoleon,
something?
yeah.
Napoleon first term as supervisor, and you're living in a township. You're just one person. Do you
Hmm.
feel like he should get a $200,000 salary when Tiffany stole all the money?
No, not at all. I mean, he's basically going up against the township ordinance that was passed 5 years ago when Frank was still there. However, the unfortunate thing is, um, because as y'all saw the news report, he
Yeah,
tried to actually initiate that bill early last year and it
it
failed.
failed. Hmm.
And then then he snuck it in the Crohn's bill because what happens is that that particular article in that law supersedes the ordinance that Frank had passed 5 years ago, or not Frank, but the board, like the township government had passed 5 years ago. Now the problem is that um, there's another article, and I can't remember what it is. I think it's like 60.1 or something like that, where it basically states that all township officials are should govern the amount of what township officials should make. So the salaries of a township supervisor, trustee, whatever, is governed by that township board. So my question was, does that law, so if we're going to oversee the law that Frank did in his, or not Frank, I should stop saying Frank, but under his administration that they passed unanimously, does that law, the law that was passed last July 2024, does that actually oversee another law that's in the books under the Illinois state code of townships? Because it clearly states that townships are responsible for ordering making the salaries of their elected officials. So which is right? So the only thing is, if we're gonna kick back Napoleon's salary back to what was passed 5 years ago, it's gonna have to go back to the courts. It's gonna have to go to courts. And I'm pretty sure the argument is going to be that law that I can't think of right now, which clearly states that township officials should govern the township salaries. That's going to be in play.
Okay. Well, I can get with that. I just was wondering, like, how did you feel with that? And when I see this happening and nobody's saying anything, well, somebody's saying something, but it's just like, okay.
But
Uh,
didn't Ben Bradley say something? Because I'm sorry, I'm a little bit
yeah.
behind with all of that. But I thought I heard the Ben Bradley say that whatever Napoleon had said about we cannot change the laws of this what's the answers in place. Once he said that, Ben Bradley was like, but that law was never passed or something. So maybe
No, it
Curtis, can
was
you?
it yeah, it was hit. So Napoleon tried to pass a bill that he created early last year. It didn't pass. But what he did was he took the main language of that of what you see in that bill, where no township can can um, can lower the salary of the incumbent. He
Mm-hmm.
took that little piece of article and snuck it in that Crohn's bill in July, because what's happening is our legislative body um, didn't read the entire bill, or they probably did read the entire bill and didn't understand why this is here. Nobody asked a question.
Mm,
So they
Okay,
originally see the bill as like, oh, it's a Crohn's bill. Okay, this is a good thing. Let's pass it.
right, right. I just wanted to make sure because that's what I thought that I heard, but I don't want to be speaking on something totally different. Okay, yeah, I
No,
thought that.
no, he did.
Okay,
He
thank
did
you.
try to. Yeah, he did try to do it, and then since they saw the language and he couldn't pass it, then he took that little piece where he could, where basically he could where the township wasn't able to decrease his salary, because obviously he knew, and there were several other people
he knew he was
who
gonna win. Yeah.
exactly. And if you remember during that time, there were people, oh, Napoleon ain't gonna run, he don't need that job, he a
Uh
senator,
huh.
he got a
Well,
Mm-hmm.
business, that
let
type
me.
of crap. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
you can talk all you want to, he gonna run and he might win.
He don't
Okay,
need that job. He don't need that money. He's good.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep. Yep,
Now
that's what
he
they were
wasn't. What
saying.
they should have said was he wasn't going to run and make $50,000. Now that's what they should have. He wasn't going.
Exactly. And Berg, and I don't know if you saw, if in your archives, because I remember
Oh, we got
specifically
so.
a live we did,
Yep.
and and you asked me, and this was, I think this was back in May or April of last year. You were asking me like, okay, so if, because I said last year Tiffany's and I will win the re-election. Um, and you asked me who were the candidates, and I gave you candidates, and one was including Napoleon Harris. And there was a certain person who kept asking me the question, well, why you don't like Napoleon? Why you don't like the other
Yep.
person?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I'll say he kept asking you why you don't like Napoleon. And then I heard the press person, I'll say that out my mouth. This is not guarded. Say he don't even want that job. I have that on film. He don't even
It,
want that.
he don't
And
even want that job. Yeah,
how is he here? What happened?
exactly.
And then we saw, yeah.
What did Gardner say last April?
Mm-hmm.
So
Hashtag Goddess was right. Okay.
That's how hashtag artist was right.
and I hate, you know what? Hate when I hate when I'm right on these things. I really
Well, you
do.
know what? I was
Hey,
right on
hey,
something. I
times
hear
that, hey, it actually, I think now in this day of social media, it's good that you said it because we'll have 1,001 people from that one place to be like, Goddess ain't never said that.
well, I
so,
think
Oh my God.
our
I
town.
so
just,
I think
sometimes I guess it could be good.
you know, but because the problem is that when I kind of like give my analysis, I wouldn't even call it a prediction. It was just an analysis of the politics of the township and the politics of anything I look at. I think the only time I was wrong about something was was the presidential race of 2000. I thought Trump was going to get reelected, and Biden, Biden won, but I didn't take into account that because of Trump's mismanagement of the COVID pandemic, a lot of Republicans were angry at him and they stayed at home. But I do remember in 2016 that Trump was going to win, and I was telling folks like, I don't like what Hillary is saying, and he's gonna get this guy elected. I didn't vote for either one of them, but
mm,
I was like, Trump is going to win this election. And people were like, oh, you crazy. You crazy. He ain't gonna win. He an idiot. I'm like, okay, all right. But I just didn't like the way Hillary was talking. She didn't seem like she wanted to win that race.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
yeah.
You know, I mean,
I,
it's like what we're doing right now.
I
And
Right
I hate
remember.
that.
I'm
I
sorry.
hate that I predicted that because I'm like, I don't like Trump. I don't want Trump to be president.
Well, you really good with your spirit of discernment. I don't know. Do men have discernment? Because you have something that you could,
Yes.
yeah, you could be
I think everybody should have discernment. Men,
like, okay.
Ye-
women, children, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody does have discernment. They just, it when you start to cloud your thinking with other people's thoughts, that's where your discernment starts to go away. That's just my opinion.
And I
Yeah, I
agree.
think.
Oh, I have a question for you, Gardens.
Go ahead.
The whole point of having three branches of government is for checks and balances. One person shouldn't occupy multiple seats within the framework. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, no, I totally agree. I mean, uh, there should never be an overlap. Like I said, especially a conflict of interest when you're talking about certain positions. But no, there's a reason why there's, like you said, there's three branches of government. For checks and balances. Unfortunately, what we see with the current administration, uh, they're putting the executive branch over everything, and that's
Mm,
including
Hmm.
the legislative. And even though what's so weird about it is a certain political party governs all three branches.
mm,
So I don't
Exactly.
understand. Yeah, I don't understand why one branch has to fight over the other branch over certain laws and policies, despite the fact that uh, one particular party. rules all three of them. So it's absolutely insane when you think about it, because they shouldn't be arguing. But when your enemies are arguing like that, the best thing to do is just supply the ammo.
And
I
go.
I
Oh,
agree. I'm sorry. I have a question related to that because you know how people started with Tiffany and being the mayor of Dalton and the supervisor, which we know now was not it wasn't necessarily illegal. But how about a senator who is very much able to write bills being over the township? Is that
mm.
different?
Do, do,
That
do you really think he could write those bills?
well, I don't. Well, I know I
Well,
know
is
he.
Robert Kelly
Look,
and
I know he ain't writing nothing, but
you know
like,
what? I'm at this time. You are hilarious. I'm done.
you know what? I guess I should say whoever wrote it for him. Isn't that like? I mean, shouldn't can he be senator and over the township at the same time?
Yeah,
Should
well, that's
residents question that, or is this the same as
no,
Tiffany?
yeah, and that's why I said that, because technically there is no conflict of interest between the two, even though they're. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you doing? All right, all right. But technically there is no conflict. There is no conflict of interest, but at the same time, we're seeing that a theoretical conflict of interest playing out because of the fact that him able to be sneaking that bill in that Crohn's bill, that right there could definitely prove that this is a conflict of interest. It's not as, like I said, it's not as prevalent as, like I said, say if you're the governor of Illinois and the mayor of Chicago, but at, but I don't think that they should be, he shouldn't have two positions anyway, because of the fact that if you're truly talking about working for the people in a political office, your focus, your 100% focus should be on that office. It shouldn't be split between two offices, because at the same time, because you're not two people, you're one person, and that one person can only focus on one group of people, on one population. And if you're the senator, your focus should be on the people of the state of Illinois, and how they can, what policies would help them to get resources, to get everything they need, to to be good Illinois residents. So no, I do feel like, uh, under no circumstances that any politician should hold two elected positions at that.
I feel like that too. But I want to point out, because I want to be fair. From what I heard from the report, the state position is part time and the township position is part time, right?
Yeah.
So the same with Tiffany, the mayor position is part time and the township position was part time. She had two part time positions, but it was harder on her than it is on Napoleon. And that's what's so, it's just like I'm just waiting to see. Give us 3.5 years. I know I tell y'all give us 1 year, but 3.5 years. Let's see who runs for office and what's going to happen, or if they, my, this is why Berg said it. I think they're going to challenge him when they're going to try to get him out, because this whole thing expose is from the inside. In my opinion, nobody else on this panel, just mine.
Well, let's see how his board reacts, because obviously, um, remember last year we started to see a shift when certain people on the Thornton Township board were basically being, I would basically say they were coerced
Yeah,
to change their support from Tiffany to whoever, the anti-Tiffany people, because there is a case of coercion in that particular situation, and a lot of and I'm not making that up. There was a lot of public record when you're talking about people on YouTube talking about this and that, and yeah,
Oh yeah.
there was some coercion in that thing. So let's just see what his board does. Obviously, there are certain board members I think would probably stand by him if he murdered an old lady.
Okay, you.
Uh,
I see that everywhere. Like I think that's on YouTube too. They don't care if they like put your cat in the microwave. They gonna stand
exactly,
by you. They don't
exactly.
care. They don't care. Put your
Yeah,
grandma in the let me say, I'll meet you. Put your grandma in the microwave. We don't care. You wrong.
Right.
yeah. So yeah. So we'll see what happens if his board, stays, because none of them has said anything. They haven't given any opinion on it because, obviously, uh, when you're part of a political party like he is, you always have, like you're forced to toe the company line. And
Yeah.
if you don't, toe the company line, then you're ostracized. You may get, you may get what is it? You may get recalled. And so that right there, and obviously, as you know, the Cook County Democrats, Thornton Township Democrats, have more money than God, so they can go to the courts and do that.
Well, I have to say something, and thank you for joining because, Gardis, you always give an educational perspective to what I'm talking about. Thank you, Choose. You always give. You be like Sister Soldier on it. You be on it. Um, did y'all see the Napoleon food boxes compared to the Tiffany Henry food boxes? At
They suck. They suck. They suck. They suck. It's canned
they
goods in
so
there.
bad.
It's
It's all
canned goods.
pasta
I
and
saw I saw canned goods. Napoleon is really is trying to kill people with that processed food.
I
There, I
was
added
like,
to
what?
that conversation.
But did you guys see the proposed budget that the meeting, you guys, was the 22nd, 5 p.m. Come up there to Thornton Township. Did you see the budget and the increases? When I saw the food boxes, I was like, why it look like this?
hmm I oh
Yeah,
oh I just saw
yeah,
the increases, but I'm gonna be quiet because see that's where I didn't do enough walking and hugging trees for this
You
one.
did
yeah.
a dog walking. You're so sweet.
I mean, I took some notes because I did look over the budget. Unfortunately, I have it at home. I'm calling you from the great city of Washington D.C. right
No,
now.
no,
So I'm
keep
on
it for you. And thanks for giving us your time.
yeah, but yeah, there was some questionable things in that budget that I was like, okay. But just like with any budget, and you're talking about transparency, and obviously we get a bunch of numbers that most people don't understand. Why is this being increased? Why is this being decreased? No type of explanations, and it's not really a proposed budget that you normally see at, say, at a corporate level or even some municipalities. Like if you look at Lansing's proposed budget, they have language in there that tells you certain aspects. If you ever see like the reports from the audits, and you see like the Casper Group audits that they do on the township, there's language in there that explains why something increased and something decreased. But they do that in proposed budgets as well, and I didn't see that in there. It's just numbers in some numbers shot up and some numbers went down,
And no
and
one responded to them.
And
yeah, well, yeah,
as a former accounts finance department in the accounting portion, accounts payable, accounts receivable, paying the bills, I've never seen any budgets that look like this.
Well,
There, like Garda said, there's always an explanation, and there should be an explanation specifically for two reasons: the purpose of transparency, But if you want to really be more specific, for the purposes of audits.
Well, I'll say this, choose. You might be interested in they increased the human relations budgets from $51 last year to $50,000. And then they created the community relations, they increased the community relations budget from $200,000 from 16,000 last year.
So that's gonna be more pictures of them and more promotional stuff. That's another that's a shell budget.
It was a lot of things that I did write down because I plan to go to the meeting too. Special recreations programs went up from $5,254 last year to $60,000 this year. It's not every little thing because maybe they have their reasons. Like let's say Napoleon want to do more for the seniors, and Tiffany want to do more for the kids, but they didn't accept that last year. That's why I have the questions. Like when Frank wanted to bring more groups to the Taste of Thornton Township, and she wanted to bring Kiki Wyatt, he spent just as much as her, but he did it in a different way. He
Right.
brought, it was just different. So I want to talk about that. Just like with the Big Bingo, we had Parcheesi and checkers and chess. We had all those card games. I got the FOIA, and it was like close. Tiffany spent more than Frank. I won't say she didn't. She spent more, but he spent a lot on cakes, a lot. It was just like a lot of more different things. So that's all I'm trying to say. So I want to talk about this budget. So I hope to make it on the 22nd.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
and a good way to kind of like
Right, Keithus?
compare it, but compare it to like, and I'm pretty sure you can find it online, and if not, just request it of the neighboring townships that's around Thornton Township. See what their budget is. See what their budgets look like. And don't look at the numbers per se, because obviously Thornton Township is a bigger township than some of um, their neighboring townships. But just look at the percentages of what they spend uh, their their revenue on, and also look to see how they label it, how they, are they being clear, are they being transparent, is it something that a local township should be doing, should we be following this type of, because obviously we don't see other townships going through this type of rigmarole that's happening here, but uh, and I'm pretty sure before all of the madness happened a year and 3 years ago, I'm pretty sure townships like Worth or Bloom probably didn't have no more than 3 or 4 people in their budget meetings, because
Yeah.
the people probably know, like, hey, you know what, it's a township, they provide services, and we trust them with the money. Now I might be wrong about that, but at the same time, when you're in those type of municipalities, and you know that the elected officials aren't blatantly trying to steal the money or trying to use their position to springboard to another career, because this is what Thornton Township has turned into, and unfortunately it's Frank Zuccarelli's fault, because he made it into a springboard for people's political careers, because obviously he governed a lot of money, and he was able to garner a lot of money. He was able to install a board that was able to just say yes to everything he did, but then
Mhm.
yet he was also there to install, well, not install, but help a lot of many Southland politicians' campaigns, people that he liked, people that he could work with. And I always tell the story. The one person that he really couldn't control was the mayor of South Holland, and that was Don DeGraff, because
Mm.
they both were actually political rivals. Because at one point, Don DeGraff was a Republican. South Holland
Oh,
was a South Holland was a Republican village.
and I see that
Uh,
because this is the graph that was on the Republican. I don't know if that's the same the graph, but on Republican slate this year.
Well, yeah, DeYoung,
The
Timothy
young,
Young,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
DeYoung. So his father is a South Holland trustee,
Okay.
and yeah, so there's that connection because they grew up in South Holland, and yeah, it used to be a Republican. It used to be a Republican village at one point. However, when they saw the demographics switch, because uh, 75% of South Holland is black, and you can't continue to be Republican when over 80 to 90% of black people vote Democrat. However, they didn't want to just flip the switch. So what they did was they created their own party, and they call it the Heritage Party.
Hmm.
So the party that runs South Holland is called the Heritage Party. So they're
So,
not they're not with the Democrats of Cook County.
and I always see you guys being like a united family where they can't. It's like almost like a shield, and we're just across the state, the borderline. And then when we see that, we got all this going on in Dalton. We had a housing committee meeting. Nobody went. I'm sorry, you guys. I would have went. I can't go. I haven't been able to go. But it was a housing committee meeting. I'm like, where's all the cameras at? Where's all the? It's just because Tiffany's not there. Nobody's being held responsible for anything.
Well,
And
the
mhm.
problem too is that one of the major issues that we have to face, as residents in the Southland, is the housing. Because there are a lot of abandoned homes around the Southland, and I was actually surprised. I walked around South Holland uh, late last year, and I was surprised to see the number of abandoned homes in the village that I live in.
Why
And
would there
we
be
always
abandoned
we always
homes, Goddess? That
huh?
doesn't make sense.
Well, the problem
It's
is is
we got the
is
Pope
home.
House here in Dalton. There's no abandoned homes over here. Sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with Gardensville. There's no abandoned homes over here in Dalton. Okay, go ahead, Gardens. I'm sorry.
But
Yeah.
the problem is that home ownership is getting much harder and harder when you think about the price of homes, and also the taxes is really killing home ownership in the Southland. I mean, we've had the biggest increase of property tax last year, or in the last couple of years, that we haven't seen probably ever.
Well, I would
Like,
love to live in South Holland. Why do you think people are having abandoned? I know why Dalton has abandoned houses, but why do you think that just the taxes in South Holland?
yeah, I mean, yeah, the taxes in South Holland is just as bad as like in Dalton or
Hmm.
Calumet City,
Hmm.
because it's all one area. This is how they classify. When they raise those taxes, they basically classified everybody. So yeah, so when y'all talk about y'all tax increase in Dalton, we got the same one.
I didn't think that. I thought that whatever your area had, they would raise it based on that. So it's the whole Cook County.
The whole Cook County suffered this
Wow.
this this, this increase.
I'm sorry, Gardens. I didn't look. I'm sorry on behalf of me living in Dalton. I'm sorry because you in South Holland, I go there for refuge. I go there to get my ice cream, my sip club at Panera, my drugs at Walgreens when I need my prescriptions. I go to get my dry cleaners. Why would y'all have more? I don't understand. That's
Well,
crazy.
yeah, because most of that is, like I said, property taxes is governed by Cook County, which
Right.
unfortunately it's an issue when you think about why Cook County is raising taxes, um, and one of the things that the assessor and who's the assessor now, Fritz Kagi. Fritz
Yeah.
Katie was talking about how we got all of these abandoned properties that used to be businesses, and they came up with this crazy formula saying that because we got too many abandoned businesses, the residents should burden the tax load of the empty abandoned buildings.
Well, I don't
So
think that South Holland is our Cook County good area, in my opinion. Where else would you say in Cook County is like prominent area. I would say South Holland or
Yeah,
Elizabeth
I
County.
think
Or
South Holland. I think because of the fact that when you think about the areas that is around South Holland, you think about Dalton,
Harvey,
Harvey,
Riverdale.
and Riverdale, and I think the only one that I would probably exclude from that bordering city is Lansing, is because South Holland has a stable government. As far as like, you don't have any crazy personalities, mismanaging money or funds and doing all kind of crazy things. And then as bad as, because like I said, when you think about South Holland, many people don't think about the amount of abandoned homes that's in South Holland, and there's a lot of abandoned homes in South Holland.
I never saw that. And I would
No,
give
it is.
Mayor Patty, I would give her a pat on the back for upgrading Lansing when she was there and bringing those businesses there. Did that help South Holland property taxes at all?
Well, you see, that's the thing about South Holland. That's one of the issues of South Holland is the businesses. Now, we're not actually hurting on businesses, but there's not as many businesses as it used to be because South Holland is having a hard time filling some of the abandoned businesses uh, because there were some big name businesses that had left South Holland, but we were able to replace it with smaller businesses, a few business. Now, if you saw on South Park and 162nd Street, right across from the street from the Walgreens, Chase is building a bigger
A
bank over there.
huge bank, yeah.
Yeah, they're big. They're building a huge bank. So Chase is one of the more prominent businesses that's still in South Holland, and they're moving they're moving their location because if you know Chase is right, it's like right on the same street as that Walgreens, and they're just moving that from that small location to that big location. But now the question is, now who's going to occupy that empty area when Chase moves to their big, to their bigger facility. So now and then, we haven't filled Waltz yet. I mean, I've been kind of like asking people when I go to the meetings, like, okay, so what are we gonna do with Waltz? Because
Yeah.
Waltz had closed last September, so what's up with all this space? Like, how we gonna resolve that? So South Holland has interesting problems that uh, that not a lot of people know about because, like I said, the government is still somewhat stable. So the government can take care of that. But yeah, there's still the issue of abandoned homes. There's still the issue of abandoned business properties that need to be taken care of.
and speaking of property taxes, my board meeting. So for some reason, my mind has a photographic memory of board meetings, and I specifically remember Tiffany explaining, or at least trying to explain each township. I mean, each city in the town or each municipality in the township and what their taxes were. That was that one that I think the only people got out of that was when she was saying next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide.
Oh, she really did.
That's
She said, "Y'all,
that.
That's when Markham Mayor got mad."
Yes, that was a meeting where Tiffany actually did try to educate respectfully, not just to use her, her little, what she said, but respectfully. This is where she tried to educate the people that were in the room about all the property taxes in the municipality. And the only thing that we got out of that, not we, us, but the YouTube in general was next slide, next slide, next slide. But she was really telling the truth.
I agree. When she was saying, when they're telling you about me, look at this, and nobody wanted to listen to her, and I think that's a lot. So I was wondering, like, I'm thinking about Gardens, like South Holland is the place to be. You mean people are? It's abandoned houses. That's crazy. So thanks for telling us, Gardens. We here. We gonna get into some
No,
nasty stuff. We don't want you to be involved in that. We about to get into some nasty stuff.
okay. Well, let
We
me
about to
let
talk
me get
about
off.
YouTube. No, you talk
Let-
about Martin and abandoned houses. We about to talk about drama.
okay, well, let me get off from here. You ladies have a great day. In the chat, y'all have a great day as well.
And you have a great day. In you said you where?
Washington, D.C.
Oh,
Oh,
I've never been. Have fun. Oh,
All
something's
righty.
happening up there. God, is you okay? I heard something
What?
happened up there at the Capitol. You all right?
What happened at the Capitol?
It was something this morning. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
No, it was something. Oh, hold on, because I felt like it was a shares, but it wasn't that. It was something that happened. The F. Oh, never mind. It was upset. You all right? That was a
I'm
share.
not
You
in.
all right? You all
I'm
right?
not in.
You good? It was
I'm
a
not in
tennis. It was
danger.
a tennis tournament. You good, Gardens? Go ahead.
All right. I'll talk to y'all later.
All
see
right.
you later, Curtis. And can I add? Because Curtis added something else that I really wanna. Because I think this is definitely some podium questions for the next Thornton Township meeting when he started talking about community, or when you started talking about community. Well, when we all started talking about community relations, because with that increasing, that's the stuff that that's the campaignings for, initiatives, that's supposed to be informing about resources, brochures, flyers, social media campaigns, public service announcements. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get it. Let's see what else.
All
Community events, educational programming, community partnerships. Who y'all engaging with? Y'all engaging with local organizations like the schools or something? It could
well,
involve co-hosting events, and let's see, crisis response initiatives. But what I found, just to keep it short, what I found very interestingly disingenuous and a big fat lie is, that's also for promotional materials. So that would be for creating and distributing materials that, you know, highlight whatever they want to highlight. So
yeah.
we need to, whoever goes to the podium, ask about that budget as it relates to community relations, because and that's all. I just wanted to make sure I did not forget about that.
If I'm not able to be there, due to what I do for work, I will have someone there. Now, what happened was, hold on, y'all, just so y'all know, I wasn't trying to scare Gardens. That was in LA. I'm sorry. I had it confused with something going on in LA with the sheriff. But I think choose is 1000% right, because when I think about this, they never gave. This is my opinion. This is Burgundy Blue. It's not choose compassion, unless she wants it to be. But this is me saying this. When Tiffany walked in at that Christmas meeting, she was begging them to give her a chance. After she figured out they weren't, she turned around and said, "I'm gonna make my own rules." And not meaning rules whereas government was, I'm gonna make sure kids have stuff. I'm gonna make sure things are for the community. And they were voting for it. Then they held those checks. They did all that drama, got the YouTubers in, and now y'all still on. Tiffany was the most evilest thing. We have nothing for the kids to do here. I'm here. And then even when people are here, they'll try to tell you, "Oh, she's not here. I'm here. I'm right." If you guys don't remember that whole year, that whole first smear campaign, I don't even live here. And I'm like, "No, that's not." And I'm standing by that. Tiffany has stuff not for me, but for the youth, not for someone 30 to maybe 55. Someone, or look, 21 to 55. She had nothing for that, but she had stuff for the kids and the seniors. When you look at what Napoleon has, it's nothing but the people that can vote. That's all he have
Exactly.
events for.
Exactly.
And it's not
And
strange, it's what it is.
I 100% agree with your opinion on all of that, because it was for the kids, and only people were mad, or I guess the only people that I could visibly see coming to the podium that were angry were well above
Yeah.
660. all of them.
Oh,
So
and let me
the
tell you
kids
this.
had something to do though. What's going on this summer?
Yeah, and they steady and like I heard someone bring Noah up 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? They brought Noah up, and I'm like, you guys. First of all, you it's nobody that even they got great grandchildren that's coming to the podium.
Right,
If
right.
that, and then the first event we have is Bidwist and Blues. Nothing like
Followed by a murder
nothing
mystery.
follow nothing but double dutch and donuts. Something else for the kids. Nothing. We're
Because
gonna have
it's
a
for
garage
them.
sale. Hmm.
And that's why they were pissed
What's going
off.
on with the skating rink? Y'all don't want to do nothing. Y'all don't want Tiffany out there no more. You don't want to have people skate. Oh, because it say just ice over there. Okay.
Yeah,
You don't want
exactly. Petty.
to
It's like we're looking at everyone's like eighth grade selves come out. And
mm-hmm.
I was just told that, well, I just heard this. We like to throw the word grown up around. Grown up don't mean that really it don't mean nothing because there is physical growth where you grow to a certain height and age, and we call that grown up. But there's also spiritual and soul growth. There is community growth. There is, if you're not growing as a human, you're not a grown up. And so when I look at all of that, I see a bunch of 8-year olds that are, and I don't mean this in a, I declare I do not mean this in a derogatory way. I mean this in, I'm looking at a bunch of children whose needs were not met. And I'm looking at how they were rewarded, as what got them rewards as children, whether it was having a tantrum or being silent. This is coming out in everyone's adulthood.
So,
So
yeah.
it makes no sense that the kids can't have um, a skating rink and skate, and we can't still promote skating. It's just whatever to, try to keep Tiffany's name away and spite Tiffany. And you absolutely can't do that because no, he's not here. And you absolutely can't do that because Tiffany is history, whether people like her, hate her, or not. Y'all just gonna have to come to, some type of radical acceptance that once us, these people that's on these YouTube streets and regular streets and wherever, all over the world, once we gone, once our generation is gone, she still will be and always will be the first. And and there's nothing y'all can do about that. And to sit and try to bury, things on account of y'all don't like Tiffany. So once again, we already had Christmas and all that. Now we're depriving the kids of what could be a great summer for them.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
And I'm sorry, y'all. I just finished sewing, and I was working and sewing while we was talking, and I agree. I listened to every word, and I agree with you. It's like it's really sad that we're depriving the kids, just like we deprived them over the holidays because of political gain. Y'all waited all that time to get Stephanie in. You waited all that time and took away the food boxes and the toys. So let's see what happened this year. That's what I'm eager to see. And then when you say something, it's like, oh, they want to attack you. I want to let you guys know my attack is different than their attack. And while we're speaking of attack, I want to bring up Cafe of Knowledge. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I feel like I want to talk about this because I have something to say. And anybody in there, you guys can be in the chat that's for Cafe of Knowledge. We just got a small chat, it's not big. It's no shade. And you guys who are my subscribers, I'm not mad if you're over on Cafe of Knowledge, and I've never been. Um, it was the caucus. We were outside. I'll do a review later. But we were outside freezing way before 7 o'clock, 6:15. Tiffany was already in there. Period. Tiffany was in there, so she was never late. We were outside. Tiffany kept coming outside, checking on us. She sent the warming bus to make sure we were warm. It was people with oxygen tanks. It was people with walkers. I don't know if y'all ever saw my video. I'll go through it later, but you can look on my channel. It's a caucus video, but I shared it today. Um they were in wheelchairs, and guess who had to wheel the people around? Mr. Terry Young, the 390-hour, what was it? Choose 300 hours a week or something they were trying to say he got.
Yes,
And he was
yes.
he was he's the one that hopped the car and like hopped the car, and he had Justice in the car.
Yep,
Justice, and Kamal.
yep,
And
yep.
he took Tiffany out. So I'm there the whole time outside because I'm not part of the cool kids table. So I'm not able to sit down in the caucus an hour ahead and make a vote. So I'm giving y'all the real. So when I saw Cafe of Knowledge video, all I did was say, well, it was. When I heard the caller, I did not know who the caller was, you guys. I swear. I was like, okay, it's a caller. I don't know who the caller is. I didn't care who she was either. I want to be clear. It was like she said, "Huh, did Cafe play it conscious? Did she play the clip where the caller said something like, I'm a assimilate?" It was no people with oxygen tanks. It was no people in wheelchairs. And all I did was play, it was, that was it. And we were locked out. And then Cafe went off and said, I will strike your channel if you this is unfair use. And this is me breaking it down. I don't know exact words. But I was like, why would you Oh, hey conscious. I mean, hello everybody that's here. Hello, hello, hello. And thanks. I'm gonna shout out the chats. I appreciate y'all. Big Mike and TK. Thank you. I was just sitting over there like conscious. I was there and it was people in wheelchairs. Choose. I was there. It was people in wheelchairs and it was people oxygen tank trying to do their vote. And when I got to that side door, that's when I saw Stephanie coming towards me on the side door. And she saw I was over there and she stopped letting people in. I saw her letting people in. That's why I went to the side. And you guys followed me for that. And it's on my community page where you can look at all that. My camera's lens was broke.
Sure did. Well, I know it's timestamp. It happened. I saw it. I saw you go to the side. I saw. So
So when we hear cafes, and thank you for saying it, when we hear cafe, when I heard, not we, but when I heard her say that this happened where someone said, I'm scared to walk the streets, they're after me, burgundy blue, and then then it got doubled down today on Jedediah's page. Burgundy blue was after me in April. That's not true. I have videos from my whole video has been documentary of what's been happening. When I get out the car, you guys are walking with me to see what's happening the whole time. So you guys can see. I was getting hugs in May. I was getting sit by in June. I mean, was it June? No, it was May. It was April. I was getting hugs. May, I
mhm.
was getting sit by. And then after that, that's when my 48-hour notice came. And then I never saw that person again. I mean, I saw them, but they were like, I'm over here, you're over there. I've never attacked anyone on my platform. And you guys always like, oh, she's so I'm not trying to be nice or sweet. I just never did. My camera is on. So when I heard Cafe say that, I said, "Oh, I understand." And I'm sorry to go around the mulberry bush with that, but it was just like, "Huh?" Someone said I can't. Oh, I'm scared because Burgundy Blue and someone else. I think it was Conscious. It was Conscious. I'm sorry, Conscious. I'm scared they're gonna come after me. I understand why Cafe would protect, because I would protect somebody. So I get it. Like, oh no, but I wish I would have known because it threw me for a loop. I was like, fair, you reading the fair use thing, and then you saying we can't use your video. It was confusing to me. Now I get it. And
Yep,
I'm done with that's a squash. I'm done with it. I don't have any beef with Cafe. I really don't have any beef for anyone. I just want to move on with my life. That's all I want to do. Move on with my life. I don't understand why I'm mentioning several videos when I was the first one to tell y'all to ask you would you like to mock. I asked y'all to help me and nobody would help me. I'm
yep,
not ashamed of that. I said,
yep,
y'all help me. I was in the worst space of my life.
yep,
And I heard Jed even mention that last night. And y'all made fun of me. I'm not mad at Vivian for what she did. I'm not mad at. I forgive everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
almost everybody. I gotta go.
Hey,
Almost
hey,
everybody.
forgiveness is a process. For it to be true
No,
forgiveness,
almost everybody. But I
for it to
asked
be,
y'all to
yeah.
help me, and that's to be made fun of. I had the work. I had people in my house getting their plates run. It's a YouTuber that don't even come on YouTube no more because she was driving by my house taking videos in my window. This was a, and then Vivian
Ouch.
saying, "Oh, nobody was doing that." This was what was really happening. So now, when y'all see the stuff happening out loud, now y'all understand that stuff that happened to Ryan, crazy as hell. Somebody
Right.
somebody walked up to me, but they didn't hit me. But someone actually hit him. How far are we gonna go? This is scary. And that's all. I hope y'all know I'm passionate about it, and I'm nervous about talking about this because I didn't want to talk about this. I actually talked to Choose and said, I really don't want to talk about this, but I think it needs to be talked about because people are missing a point. It's getting worse and worse.
Yep. Yeah. And I think, and now I'll speak for myself for what I say. I'm like, it's whatever, whatever you like to do. And ultimately, now this is my opinion of it. I think that clearing things up is a good thing. I think that the way you just explaining what you're explaining, and be- I know because we talk that it for you, this part is not really for you. It's not like, oh, I want to go on the internet. It's to a point where, it's a year later. You have, you are continually rebuilding your life, and God is just raining down the blessings upon you. And I know for me, and I'm going to ask you, it does all that feel draining when you get these, whether it's an email or a text about, well, Berg, guess what happened, guess who said what, and it's something a year ago. Is that draining to you? Is
I
it
think
draining to still hear your name?
I
Is
think it's
those are two questions, so is it yes or no to both questions is what I'm
when
asking.
I heard that a lot of people like it's actually helping me to a point because I'm still fighting this whole situation. So when people send it to me, I'm grateful. But I don't understand why people are still mentioning me a year and something later when I had why it almost feels like what did I have to I literally was just covering what was going on about.
Mm-hmm.
I heard I was trying to be in competition. Competition for what? I have a
Right.
$19 and 1999 live stream goal. Does anyone know why my live stream goal is 1999?
Does it matter?
It doesn't, but they don't remember the 1999, how that even came about.
Exactly.
They don't remember that part. So
Exactly.
we had a whole 1999 live stream goal when I go live because it's first of all, I don't make money on these videos. It's stressful to do these videos. I had more people email today than to watch that the guy from City High, who actually was a recovering addict, who changed a lot of people's lives, passed away. He was a
Yep.
musician. They emailed me more than that, and that's fine. But I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like, why am I living rent free, as the kids say? I'm like, y'all should be able to do. I'm not talking about Harvey. I have nothing to do with Harvey. I think what's happening in Harvey is horrible, but I think, oh, sorry. Choose, that's you again? Hold on. Hey, Choose, you back? I gotta remove one of you. Are you here, Choose? I'm gonna have to remove both because I don't know. So back to what I was saying, because I'm screaming because I don't have my microphone. Sorry if I'm loud. Um, I feel like I told people I have a video on my YouTube. Harvey, you're next. That was from a year and a month ago. I told Harvey, I said, if y'all don't help us, you're next. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Choose, call back if you're here. Oh, there you go. Hold on. You back, you back, you back. Hold on. Choose, choose. Okay, we're going. I'm gonna let her come back. I did a video a year ago. Let me see if I can find it. And I could do a compilation of the things I heard like people say happen and what we videoed happen, like the real video. And how people just hate me for no reason. Like you hate me because you think I'm this or I'm a Tiffany supporter. Like people told me you walked in the room like you was Hollywood and I had on blue jeans. I said, how did I walk in the room like I was Hollywood and you didn't speak to me? Why? If you saw me, I didn't see you. Why didn't you speak to me? It's been crazy on these streets. But I could be real and say, I forgive a lot of people. It's some people that's on paper. I can't. I got to fight that out. But I forgive a lot of people. I will tell you right now. I don't know why Vivian told y'all that Tiffany bought me a house. That's a lie. I hope she will admit that. I hear her talking with a lot of sense. I hope she would admit that and say someone told me or I didn't know or blah blah. I just wish she would admit that. Um, I would forgive because that has to be proven. That's slander. Tiffany bought me a house and I lived here before most of y'all. I probably didn't live here before Vivian, but I've lived here since I was in the fourth grade. Thank Big Mike. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you, TK, so much. Anybody that jump in here, I don't like doing these Dalton videos. Let me be real. It's draining. It's draining. When I hear people saying they got bullied, I'm not trying to run a contest, but who got bullied more than me? Y'all let me know in the comments. Who got treated bad more than me? Let me know in the comments. And it's just because I'm like, no, I'm following the rules. Tiffany can't do this by herself. So she's the mayor, but the board has to approve this. And that's the same thing when we saw at the Thornton Township just recently. Now you see Ben Bradley up there, you have nothing to say. Now you see we buying the Pope House, we don't have any money, guys. So did y'all care about Dalton at all? The people? Did y'all care about the people at all? Or did you just care about what we was, it was exciting to talk about? That's all I'm saying. It's not no offense. Did y'all just care that it was exciting to talk about? Or did y'all care about us at all? Because we still got to live here. I don't have no beef with nobody. My goal is to do what I do for a living. Y'all know what I work for a living. I just started about working after they tried to destroy my life. Do you know they contacted the people I work with and they forwarded that right to me because I told them when I applied, hey, these people gonna find out where I'm at and they're gonna come for me. And when these people come for me, down in politics, I'm saying this specifically, 9/2/25. That ain't for you, but if something which I know the Lord is gonna provide happen on 9/2/25, y'all next. Y'all see what they doing to us. And you allowing that to happen, that's weird. That's weird. But it's been harassment for the last year and a half. So people complaining, oh, now everybody's against me. Today, I would have loved for somebody to be against me today, other than a year and a half where I lived all my life. I feel bad for what was it was somebody that happened. Um the man I feel bad for Ryan. I feel bad for Ryan. But I'm honest with Ryan. They choose back, y'all.
Hey, sorry. I don't
No,
know what I did. Clicked all the way out of there, and I'm like, let me at him. Let me. Yeah, no. Yeah. I appreciate you explaining all of that because that was some of the follow up questions that I had. So Continue. I just wanted to get back up here.
No, I don't appreciate. I'm not mad at nobody. Like I know that you might believe in a cause and you might believe in somebody. I get that. I'm not mad at nobody. Shout out to what Shay's trying to do to bring people together. It's just things that happen to me. I have to just, be me. I support it 100% though. I think that he see what's going on and he's like we're better together than apart. And I think that's the message.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. I think that it's absolutely wonderful because this is the way that you do things. I mean, this is what we call organizing. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? So I understand and I love it. And also, one part of, community organizing or just being united with each other is we can't, some of us, and I'm sorry, I don't want to act like I'm speaking to that. I've kind of changed subjects
no,
in my
you
head
speak freely.
without, I kind of switched subjects because I'm not specifically talking about that now. I just really wanted to say that that is a very important thing, and that's what you call organizing. And then, so now I want to speak to, this um, forgiveness and that sort of thing. Part of, there are a lot of things that go into forgiveness, and I believe that one of the things that we really and truly miss, forgive me if you hear a lot of cars passing, the art fair is closing down, but what we miss in trying to come together and stay cohesive, stay a community, because we don't want to come together and then um, something else happens and now everybody still feels a type of way. Part of being united and talking about these things is talking about them openly, not necessarily. And when I say openly, I don't mean on social media. I know people, oh my gosh, I'm from before social media. So, but talking about things openly together, um, again, not on social media, with people, we need to talk about things that have been done, whether they were intentional, unintentional, out of desperation for something, out of a need, whatever it is. And I say that because this is the cycle of why we continue to do the same things generation after generation,
Mm-hmm.
and we get the same results, which is insanity. Because when you don't address the root causes of any situation, it's not you're there's not going to be any real change. And I want to say this: when people are angry, that's a symptom of, it's usually either a symptom of underlying grief or somehow wanting change. When we're angry, obviously there's something we want to change, but then the way it comes out is we're doing this, we're doing that, we're pulled into this direction. We talk about people, and then and I can just, let me use, family, my family as an example. We want to talk about people, but then, every wedding or funeral, now everyone comes together and they're like, oh, I love you. I love you. I love them, the person that passed away. It's just all love. And then after the funeral, everybody go back to what they was doing before. We need to talk about these things. I, if I hurt you, how did I hurt you? These are called, well, some people call them healing circles. But I just say this is part of what we're missing, that our passed down from our ancestors. And when I say our ancestors, I do not necessarily mean that you have to be melanated, because everyone's ancestors had to start with a way of communicating and telling stories and passing things down.
Mhm.
So I'm talking about ancestors in general. This is what we're missing. Social media replaces where we are supposed to have human interactions. We can't just say, I mean, we can, and I don't mean, when I say we, I don't mean to include everybody. It's just, I'm just saying we. But some people, it want to get to that, okay, it's over, forget about it. How does that address the behaviors? How does that initiate evolvement? We can't evolve if we just skip past things. So,
Yeah.
from me looking at you from a perspective of living in the community, you are not just someone on the internet. Although, if people, whoever has been, talked about in any, if this applies to personal relationships, social media issues, apply what I'm saying to any situation in your life. And you were actually somewhere where things were happening
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah. And
It's like
mhm,
how we in America can report on the wars and the things happen in other places, but we're not there trying to make sure we don't step on a landmine. So,
I was just
to
reporting.
to address that, how do we get to a place where we don't do this to other people? Because really, it is some unmet need in ourselves to want to talk about the next person, to want to criticize, or to want to judge everybody. I can guarantee anybody who is alive right now, you got something going on with you. There is no such thing as an unflawed human, and we talk about each other as if we have no flaws. And and then, when it's conducive to any situation, like I said, such as a wedding or a funeral, then we want to come together and be like, "Oh, I miss them, so I just love y'all. Oh, I missed everybody." And no one's addressing the pain. No one's addressing the trauma. No one's, and when I say that, please do not misunderstand me as I'm saying, oh my God, somebody has to address Berg's trauma. That's not what the hell I'm talking about. What I'm saying specifically is the reasons why we do what we do, and the reasons why we expect things of others. So I'm saying that in that context, because I do not, man, don't misconstrue my words. And if you have a question, feel free to ask. However, yeah, we can't just, there's no, what's the end goal if we just, I mean, we've been doing this for years. Now I have to think about family. That that uncle who we didn't want to go kissing and sit on his lap, but it's okay. Go do it. No, no, no. It's called consent. We have self control and agency over our bodies. And lastly, with forgiveness, if we ask people for forgiveness, because I see this a lot, and I'm not talking about social media at all. When we talk about forgiveness, if someone is asking for forgiveness, or whether or not someone wants to forgive the next person, each of those things, that's a self, that's an inner thing. Forgiveness from each end is about yourself. So if you ask somebody to forgive you and they don't, there's nothing to be mad at. Nothing at all. Because you did what you were supposed to do for your inner soul. And the flip
mhm.
side is, if you're not ready to forgive, why are you going to act like it? That's bad for your soul. You have to take your time to figure out what your path is. And again, I'm not speaking about burgundy blue, exactly what I have in my mind. And I'm a stop because I don't want to be, I be feeling like I be talking too much. But the last thing I have to say is the reason that I say that is, a lot of people know that I'm a widow. You don't know my husband was murdered by a 19-year-old.
Oh,
And this 19-year-old who it was a very compli- complicated situation. Hope maybe I'll go into story time
please.
on
I
my
really
channel.
feel like it.
But this 19-year-old boy, I had to go through counseling. I had to go through this mediation place. And guess what? I talked to my husband's killer. My
Mm.
oldest son, God rest his
Oh
soul,
my God.
talked to his father's killer.
Oh my God.
And although, they're just things, they're things you come to understand when you really sit down and talk. That I know that had to be the hardest conversation. Well, my son told me about it before he died. So I know the conversation that was. I know the conversation it was for me. And
Mm.
I know one other person, shout out Miss Mary Johnson, rest your soul as well, who a young man killed her son at the age of 17. He served like 20 something years in jail. She met him in jail. She was angry. She didn't want to forgive him. And she ended up forgiving him. And until the day of her death, called her her second son.
Oh wow.
So
What kind of
but
forgiveness? Oh my
and
God.
and I'm saying that on the strength of nobody can rush anybody's journey because everybody feels how they feel on each side.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how someone who killed somebody, I don't want to talk, it's just you have to deal with yourself. And just like I know I had to deal with myself, and I know Miss Mary Johnson, um, she went through the same program because she was my mentor to do what I did. And there is there is power in taking your time to look at yourself so that if you do want to ask for someone for forgiveness, your forgiveness is truly from the heart. And flip side of it, it's okay that you're not ready to forgive certain people. And now I'm talking to you, Bert. It's okay because no one can rush your forgiveness. No one can tell you how that looks. No one can tell you what your journey to being able to forgive within your heart for yourself is supposed to be.
Mm. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, I'm not being negative, and it's not even a lot of people. It's just I got those. Like I said, I understand when I'm like when I was listening to Vivian yelling, nobody want to come by her house, and then she's getting attacked out the Thornton Township. I'm like, see what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, that's all I'm
Me today,
thinking.
you tomorrow.
Me,
Like
I don't
Tiffany
think,
said.
yeah, I
Me
don't think
today,
she
you
knew.
tomorrow. True, no truer words than what Tiffany Henry said.
I don't think she knew. So when I see that, I'm like, it go me today, you tomorrow, and all of this is happening to everyone. Like when I would see Ryan, who I really like Ryan, but I would see him at the board meetings, and he would just be on on a certain side, and be like, "Oh, I didn't even notice you, Berg," and I'm like, "You didn't notice all they were doing and saying? No, I ain't see nothing." I'm like, "Okay, I got
Yeah,
you."
yeah.
I
And
can't judge you on that. I can't judge Vivian on what happened. Like I said, I when she was like, I'm a heifer and I don't even live in Dalton, that kind of was like, I do. But okay.
right. And
Then we
and
find
see,
out she live in Midlothian. Like that's crazy.
and that's the part that makes me wonder where,
Where it
we're
came from. Yeah, I'm with
all
you.
where it came from, and how many people might have been paid. Like, I'm not saying that Vivian was, but
No, I'm
come
not saying
on now.
she
We know,
was.
I know, and I'm speaking for myself. I know people are destitute, and some people fall on hard times, and sometimes a little extra change will make you do something you wouldn't normally do. And so I'm not saying that's Vivian's case. I don't know. I have no clue. However, I just, just from what Jedediah is saying about we help this person. We don't know what roles those people had. So, I'm also very aware that people will do things that they normally wouldn't do for money, and that's a conversation to have too. Not publicly again, but you know, if we're gonna come together on the strength of anything, really, we've got to acknowledge the pain that we've caused.
Yeah,
In that, we have to acknowledge our part, or we're gonna repeat it, or we're gonna teach it to someone else if that's okay. And really, that's the really sad part, because the next generation who comes across any of this, and seeing people saying, well, I don't care, I don't like her, whether it's Tiffany or Burgundy Blue, or I just did this because of this. Hey, you the
no,
model for the next generation. This how we really want to look, or maybe we don't care? I'm sorry.
we have to do better for ourselves. I think you're 100% right, because it turns into just a big hate mosh. And because I remember the day I went to that meeting, and actually Rico was outside with me, and I went to that meeting, and Mary walked past me, and I remember Jed going on live saying she's crying about people are not speaking to her, and I heard that today, and I said, I didn't know what was going on. And I mean, no. That was after my 48-hour notice. I still went to the meeting. And then I was outside, and I was talking to Stephanie, and she told me, she was like, you said something I didn't like. I said, what did I say? She said, I don't even remember. I said, you didn't like it, you didn't remember. It's what didn't I, I just didn't know. I was so confused because I live here. And then
Mm-hmm.
when they had this whole, oh, you don't live here and all that stuff, I said, okay, I'll just go with it because whatever. And now all the stuff we saw ended up being true. Remember St. Patrick's going after Tiffany, and now we got a big flashing liquor store on the corner.
Right.
I thought it was a steakhouse. Why is it a big old 4-story liquor store?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
weird. So everything Tiffany said was wrong. Now her picture on everything. Now everybody else pictures is on everything. Okay,
Absolutely.
her name was on the food box. Who name on the food box now?
With some processed food that is not helping the community. I'm still gonna say that I'm not sorry for. How dare you go from fresh produce and fresh items to canned goods?
And that's what she would push all the time. I'm giving you now. Do you know if he was at that first or even second salary, that would be like $150,000 back into the township pocket. And y'all not
Right.
saying nothing, but
Which
y'all didn't deserve it. Okay.
which I think to be supervisor of social services part time, because that's a part time job, right? I think that's a part time job if I'm not
Oh yeah,
mistaken.
it's part time. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh
I'm,
hell! Oh, I
I'm
mean,
putting a necklace on my mannequin, listening to you at the same time. Yeah, it's a
okay,
it's a part time job. Yeah,
okay. Well, really. So anybody that is a town, okay, not just okay. Oh my gosh, this is
it's
on so
hard.
many levels.
Yeah, it's
So just being the supervisor of social services, the most transparent thing that you could have done is you didn't even have to go back down to the 57. You could just even 100,000,
he
and
could have
that
did
would have,
100,000
you know
easy.
what I'm saying? That would have made people feel better. You know why? Because you still got that other salary coming in. So we can't say how he's supposed to live off 50. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
He
Because
did
he get paid for his other positions. He get paid for his business. And this is why, see, when you have businesses and you're a sanitary or a chairperson and whatever names people put beside his name, whatever titles they put beside his name. If you have all this, that will be the reason why you should be over social services. I got it. I got business. I'm trying to help. Or flip side, I'm just a regular citizen. I'll take this $57,000 because I need it and I know the people that need it. And I think that that's the best way to be. But like I said, if he would have just took that down to 100,000, I think that would have been enough for people to be like, okay, we're putting immediate money
because
right back into the township from day one. But
from
no,
he went up and got, because also they get a car allowance.
yeah.
So just like when they would complain, where's the BMW? They never, you
Look,
guys,
all of them, if I can just say, I used to be a city employee, not in Dalton, but typically, stuff is the same. You get your travel expenses, you get your per diems, you get you get money for any trainings you want to go to, you get you get perks for, like, not perks, but it's like a special account for just certain things you want to do. Um, Sort of like, I know this is Dalton, but the thing that I can remember that's closest to that was the money that they were talking about, that, it's like Tiffany has this amount of money, but everyone, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Most people have a company vehicle, when you work for a village or a township. If you're in one of those a position that is a driving position, there's a company vehicle involved. There are, different things. And if Tiffany had a credit card in her hand, and just like the trustees, and that's another podium question, trustees, put the credit card in Napoleon name since y'all wanted it in Tiffany name.
you are so right. And why is Robert Hunt still trustworthy? I thought he wasn't trustworthy on the Tiffany. He was buying all the strawberry cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was buying all the strawberry cake. He was Tiffany's little lackey. Mm-mm. No. Him, like, okay, here's the number one. I hear everybody talking about this dots and the Democrats, and people scared. And I'm so sorry, because I'm international. So and I'm just gonna leave it at that, because
Well, send me a
I'm
template too.
I'm international, so I really don't get the fear of the Democrats of Thornton Township. If you have, no matter what your background is, if you have a community that understands their rights, that understands, really, y'all the boss of these people, then why are we not saying anything? What are we afraid of? And so that part just behooves me. Why are you? I mean, maybe not have a conversation on social media, but um, Ryan's Gay Chicago. Hey, you want to organize some people throughout the township to ask, why is everyone afraid of Napoleon? But back to what you were saying as well, because now you just said Ryan. It's like, Ryan.
So
The thing
bad.
about the thing about that again is there was no unity to begin with the whole
Yes,
township
it should have
thing.
been Unity and Dalton first. When all
Right,
that was
I should
going
have
on,
seen,
they should
even
have
at the
all gone through that too.
even at the township meeting, all these people that we are looking at in Harvey, Kobe Chapman, whoever else. Why didn't I see y'all at the meeting? Why
They
didn't I see y'all
were
at the
coming.
Thornton Township meetings?
They were coming to the meetings, but they were on one side, and that was the clean house side. And
When?
then
When?
I was 1,000% with my broke camera getting. They were even in the caucus, and then they were
No,
at.
I'm talking about before this. I'm talking about
Oh, I
before
was
it
gonna say they
got
were
popping.
even at the thing. Oh, I'll have to give it to you, but I've seen Ryan and maybe just one Dalton meeting. He wasn't too involved in Dalton, but he was around. And then I saw Kobe once, not too much, just supporting. I don't know if they're supporting her right now, and that's the problem. We are a block away from each other. We need to have unity. Even when them ladies were going through it in Calumet City, wasn't no one rallying around them or the other people that were victims in Dalton.
Right.
It was just all kind of YouTube back and forth with people that don't even live here telling people what to do. And that's what just, I'm not against people that are on the outside at all, but I'm like, you guys aren't even looking at both sides. At least look at both sides and say, wait a minute, does this make sense? Is this fair? Is
Right.
this right? What does this person think? Um,
And I think that, again, everything that you just said, all of those, why weren't those people at the podium? Why weren't those people talk? You see what I'm saying? This is
you were
what
Illinois.
communities are about. You didn't need any. It doesn't. Outsiders are not even, for me. It's not a factor because they gonna report on the next thing. So
The people
as a
that
community,
yeah.
as a Thornton Township community, everybody in Harvey, Calumet City, the surrounding areas should have been asking the question: take the township back from who? Why? Who's organizing this? You see, so that started from, everybody, that mentality of, this is where I live. I did it. I'm saying this from my own Illinois experience. This is where I learned these dumb, I'm sorry. This is where I learned this ineffective behaviors, is that you don't just care about your own backyard, especially when you're attached to a whole township. So,
And I'm not talking about, and you're right. I'm not talking about, and y'all don't think I'm saying I'm a victim. I'm talking about the victims of Dalton that they said, like what they said Andrew did and blah. Where were all those people coming up over here then?
I,
Y'all were nowhere around. And
nobody.
and now
No,
you're like, oh well, come over here. And it's cool. I don't tell y'all not to. It's not, I just been busy, of course. But I'm not telling y'all not to. But now it's escalating over there and no one's helping them either. It's weird. Everybody's just like,
hmm
okay, let me drop a YouTube video about what's happening. Now, I will say this: the people that helped me the most are people that were not from here. They helped me the most. They were like, I'm coming in, I'm doing whatever. It was people that were at that board meeting when I spoke,
Yep.
actually bodyguarding for me just because they was like, no, we're not gonna have it. When I was waiting outside,
hmm
came and waited with me when they saw I was by myself. So I
Yep.
had no problem with getting, and they helped me.
Yep.
Um, but
Yep.
when you seeing this happen live, what y'all gonna do at the 22nd budget meeting on the 22nd? Is all these people gonna come again? Log Island out about to come back out here when he see what's happening?
Ain't nobody coming.
Who's coming out here to?
Ain't nobody coming to save y'all. It's time to save yourselves.
And
And
I agree. I agree.
and listen to these, like I'm saying, stop listening to the gossip, because here's another thing, that I always like to talk about, the how we try to take focus away from one thing. And I'm not talking about any YouTubers right now, so just let me make that
Yeah,
clear.
yeah.
But I keep saying, and I always say, does anybody remember that when Biden, it was just announced that, he didn't pardon his son, he didn't pardon
Oh
himself,
yeah.
he done pardoned, three generations down after him if they do
He sure
anything.
did.
Like,
That shocks me. He just was like, look, you off, you
yes,
off, you off, and I'm out. It was crazy.
right, shocking, right? But, see, people like me, because I look I look at the statistics of, okay, everybody's reporting on drones. What else is happening? Because at that time, why it seemed like a surprise, maybe for a lot of people, is because all the news outlets were talking about drones. And if you don't believe, anybody don't believe me, you're gonna have to go. You can Google it. What else is going on? People were talking about drones, and then, like, whatever week, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks, however much time went by, it was like, he did what? That's because we focus on what is uh put upon us. And that's why you should always question when you got 10, 7, 5 media outlets reporting the same exact story. Try to go find another part of that story.
Yeah,
That
why would
that's how I
GMA
know.
Exactly. Why Regina is not over here reporting on with the fight or reporting on the amount that Napoleon. Why Regina not over there?
Yeah, she's from Harvey though.
She from
So
so
that
she
really makes no sense to me.
she's from Harvey, but she was reporting if Tiffany passed gas, she was there reporting live. Poot at 2 o'clock. One thing
Exactly.
it was just crazy. So
Exactly. And
um,
that's why I say people may do some strange things when they get a little extra change that they wouldn't normally do. And that applies to whoever that actually happened. I'm not saying Regina did it either,
we
but
just saying, yeah,
all I'm saying is
right.
if you got some money anywhere out there to the four people that ain't gonna listen to me anyway, if you got some money and you did something that you wouldn't normally do to anybody, think about it. Take some self inventory.
Oh my God, I have some. Scott said, when is Lori Lightfoot gonna go to Harvey? And Jazzy said, what happened to the FBI investigation? I want to play one thing, and again, I'm not coming at the YouTubers. Uh, um, chooses not coming at the YouTubers. I think this is just a time where I'm just like, thanks for being open. It's been taking a year and a half for anyone to have an open mind to anything. And now it's like, I'm sitting up, I got video. So I heard something today you guys sent me where someone was like, I came at this person in April. I have videos from all the April meetings and I'm going to compile them. And then I have the video when I got a hug in May from this person that said that. This is all documented because I kept my camera on me at all times.
Mhm. People
So
have short term memories.
yeah,
Sometimes people want to.
they like, oh well, okay, well, what I get a hug for? We're gonna have all that documented for y'all soon. Um, and you guys can look at my past live streams and see it. I'll play one now where I'm getting a wave. I love to know what day I came to the people. I think they said outside of the Dalton meeting, but this is Thornton on April 23rd. Let's just play that.
No one has discussed that. It's never been mentioned.
Now,
The
here
last
comes some
2 years,
people
we
about
have
one
a
gonna wave at
surplus,
me.
and these are
One
audited
gonna wave at me.
reports.
Look at me. Oh,
You
smiling
can all
and
look them up
waving.
online.
And the sister. Okay.
The other thing I want
That's all it is. I'm not going back and forth with these people. I have a hug going on in May. And I think that was about the 48-hour notice time. I still got a hug and it's on camera. And
Right.
don't put me on camera. I got them
Right.
waiting across the street at Panera for me.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you safe. I got all that. So
Right.
it's just weird to see this. I got them getting a T-shirt too.
Right. Right.
I'm
It's
asking
just,
for a T-shirt from somebody else, not from me, but from somebody else begging for a T-shirt.
ooh,
It's history.
yeah.
And they was all down with them, but now we go back. Y'all can be with who you want to. It's not. We've never been teams. It's not teams over here.
Right.
Um,
It's as you can see, it's that like it's definitely not teams. I mean, here's another thing. I always like to lighten it up a little bit.
I love it.
So I mean, and it's not really like oh yeah, absolutely, Wyoming. I'm sorry, Berg. Yes, you are a part of this history, and keeping it totally level and even. But it's been long standing on this channel that you know, Tiffany be like. I mean, I'm sorry, not Tiffany. Burgundy. She had said, I don't know if Tiffany gonna win. And I'll be in the chat like, don't say that. She's gonna win. So you see what I'm saying? Like it's just
No, it was just me being a commentary channel. But because I
exactly.
didn't pick a side, I became the enemy. And now people are saying they're being I don't know, because I wouldn't want anyone to tell, and I want to be clear, I wouldn't want anyone to tell me I was not being picked on, attacked, and I'm living my life. So I'm not gonna do that to them. What
Right.
I'm saying is I ain't do nothing to nobody because I got documentation of you hugging on me. Then I got documentations of you coming for me. This
Hmm.
is all on record.
People
This
do some strange things for some change. I'm
is,
telling you.
and that don't mean like it's okay. That's let bygones be bygones. I'm cool. It's no problem. But if we got to do research, I got the research on that part, and that's all it is. It's just like I didn't know what side, who, what, when, where. And then
Yep.
I found my place and I found my people. And that's just the end of it. And that could be the same for her.
Yep. Yep.
That don't mean she wrong. She found her place and her people. But
Exactly.
don't say that I that I did something. When I saw Cafe video, it made all the sense in the world. And I'm not mad at Cafe. I'm not mad at Babe Solo. I'm just chilling, doing my other videos I want to do. Sorry, y'all.
Huh? Sorry for what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. I'm just doing. I don't care about anybody, y'all.
And that's the thing.
We live in.
That I would like to say just in a general sense of, you know, who did what to who. At the end of the day, I don't think anybody, and this is my opinion, I don't think anybody lost more
No,
than
they want us
Burgundy
fighting each
Blue.
other. At the
I
end of
don't think I
the day.
don't think anyone lost more than Burgundy Blue because she lives there, and she never, you know, did anything because I'm gonna stand 10 toes that I was on the very first live that kind of, kicked all the stupid stuff off that should have never been. But at the end of the day, it also seems to me that, like, I'm glad that you got this clarity. It's always so good to have things, come to the surface and, hopefully clears up for all sides. But can we just focus on ourselves and stop being so willing to, and I'm definitely not talking about Burgundy Blue. Can we stop being so willing to jump and talk things about people that we don't know? And I'm not saying anything in this chat that I didn't say on Martin G. Johnson's show to Jedediah Brown to his face. And was not rude because there's no reason for me to be rude or yelling at anyone. I'm not about to be emotional because of somebody else's cause. I'm going to be me because it depends on who I know. I don't know him. And just like people don't know you to talk about it, it's just like, can we just look at ourselves before we start talking about people? And I always want to say that for the adults, the people that have lived over um, at least 30 years of age, when we start to name call and listen to repetitive things without uh, doing some thinking, that's when we actually lose our own critical thinking skills. So,
You are right because y'all, I won't be going live as much because I feel like I'm crashing out on live. I'm like, I be getting emotional. Like, what do you mean this is happening? So I'm like, let me go back to my content that I really enjoyed making. I enjoyed you guys. Believe me,
hmm
I didn't enjoy making this repetitive Dalton content and acting like it was a reality show. This is really where I live, and that's just it. And I don't have anything. I'm not gonna go back and forth with no one because let me tell you this. That's what they want. I agree with Shay. They want this side of what they think is a side to be fighting and arguing with each other. And I'm not gonna do that. So Babe Solo, you cool. Vivian, you cool. Cafe of Knowledge, you cool. We cool. I don't have nothing to say about none of that. Whatever you had, whatever. If you feel like something, live with it and go. Because I have to worry about myself and my own soul at this point.
amen.
And that's what it's. I had put Ryan video up because Jazzy said what happened to FBI, and then God said, "What happened to Lori Lightfoot?" I said, "I was gonna tell y'all. Y'all didn't see that the sheriffs hung up. The Cook County sheriffs hung up in Ryan's face.
Sure did.
July 16th. This is a bit. They hung up in his face when he said, "Help! The police are working with the people." They were like, "All right, we tired. We don't have time for this today. Bye."
Yep. Yep.
I
And,
was shocked.
yep. And that is an example of a community that needs to come together and definitely do not need anyone who does not live there unless they come to, you know, well, here's what I'm going to say about advocacy, about how I feel about trying to help people. You ask what people need. not not the people who stand to make money, but the people who stand to lose real things like homes, water, lights, gas, basic things that we need to live. What do you need? What do you need and how can we help? That's what you do. So that sheriff, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Now, what if some would have really? What if he would have got popped? Like Wyoming said, the sheriff said, "I don't believe you." It was crazy.
The
Um,
sheriff said, "I don't."
I
Our
don't.
sheriffs could never. Oh my.
So Hassan,
Mute,
yeah, Hassan could fill out 1,000 police reports. I've been there. You guys think that I wasn't fighting for myself? No, I'm not saying that literally, but some people think I wasn't fighting for myself. My lawyer was like, "We got what? What's going on here?" She was like, no, Markham."
man. Right.
And
Like
guess where the
it,
sheriff hub is? Markham.
man, for real. Cause like I don't know. I could only speak for myself, and I would have did motion to dismiss and my thumb and do what I got to do
Well,
somewhere
we
else.
talked
But
about
that's just
what
me.
we
That's
well,
just
I
me.
told you
That's
what's
just
going on.
me.
But see,
That's just
that's the
me.
thing that you would do, but I can't talk about anything I'm doing on camera. So
Exactly.
so I don't know. Other people have other things they can do. I know I have to take advisement of the people advising me. And that's
Exactly.
where I am. I can't take advisement from people that's gonna maybe I'll win, maybe I won't. But I can't take advisement from people and screw up my life. Not you. I'm not saying it like that.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah, yeah, I can't do that. So that's where I am at. So whatever is for public consumption, y'all already got that. Use it, chop and screw it, do what you want with it. But my whole thing, I don't have a beef with nobody, and
Hmm.
except if you're on my paper, then you gotta. Other than that, I ain't got a beef with you, and that's just it. And people know I've never had a beef with anyone. I just flow through, do my thing, tried to film. People tried to come up to me and do stuff. I never, I mean, not mean stuff, but just try to get in my space. I just came, document. Y'all saw what happened, went home.
Hmm.
That's it. That's it.
Seriously, seriously, and yeah, like I said, and that sounds very reasonable because, like I said, I was speaking for my own experience. Like, if you motion to dismiss somewhere, that don't mean I'm. This is my own. Hey, this is choose saying what choose is
Uh-huh.
saying from her own personal experience. And Burgundy, because you know why I ain't been all over this here Kendrick Lamar's internet saying what I really want to
And,
say
and let me tell
about
you, that's a positive thing to do. What Choose did is the right thing to do. Yeah.
like, and so to once like doing that, there may be reasons that people don't know. And guess what? People don't have to tell you.
Can
Like
I
that's
can I
the
ask
other
you
part.
this?
This internet feels so entitled to know things that's going on or why you didn't or did do something. Like I said, I can only speak for myself when I say a motion to dismiss from something don't mean nothing because for me, I know like see and this is why I'm making sure I'm separating and not trying to let anybody think that we're talking about you here because I'm
Yeah,
talking about I'm talking about my personal experience, which has nothing to do with like this type of harassment or anything like that. But in my personal experience, a motion to dismiss for me means, okay, you want to take this to state court or federal court, what you want to do. So different reasons, different things, different stuff applies. But that's that's how I know when people bring up like if you dismissed your motion, that's why I'm quiet because
I
I
didn't
don't
dismiss nothing. My lawyer said what to do. But can I ask
exactly
you something?
that
Do
right.
you
That's why
who was my lawyer for that? Who was the defendant's lawyer for that case? Anybody know in the chat? Put the name in the chat if y'all know who the defendant lawyer was in that case.
I one verbal one.
Verbal one. Okay. Okay. Do anybody know who the defendant's lawyer was in that case? Anybody know? No, nobody know but you.
Me, just me.
That's you. Nobody know who. Okay.
The win.
Okay. And who put a one if you know who the township attorney is right now defending the brawl.
Please let me not have cut off of here. Am I? Can you hear me?
You hear? You hear? Who's the township lawyer defending the brawl?
Can you hear me?
Anybody?
Can
Like
you hear me?
everybody think
Can
I'm
you
just
hear
sitting here
me?
like thank
Listen.
you.
Can
God
you
said
hear me?
Lewinsky. Lewinsky. So it's more
Okay.
complicated than
Ooh.
people make.
Lord, can you hear
But,
me?
but Lewinsky is defending what's his name? The guy, what's his name? What's it Lavelle? And
Can
then
you hear me?
yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Now I can.
Okay. So allegedly, according to the township paperwork, that's what Lewinsky's defending Lavelle and Odelson is the the lawyer. So Odelson is for Jed and Lewinsky is for Lavelle. But this is the same square rootage. What don't people get?
That's some crazy work right there.
So just let me be me and let me get through what I gotta get through. I don't need this YouTube stress on top of what I got. I got
Right.
enough stress. I don't need that on top of what I got. That's just facts. Y'all can go back to when Grace Levi streamed my case and see who the lawyer was, and then look up who the township lawyer got sworn in.
Yep. Yep. Amen. Period.
That's it. But people don't think about that. They just think it's a whole bunch of stuff I deal with. I don't talk to y'all about in the public, and I hope y'all understand. It's a lot going on.
Yeah. And I understand. But the biggest thing that I hope that other people understand is that when you all close, whether it's your laptops or your tablets or your phones, you are going to back to your life where you live, and Burgundy is still right there in a place where you all done closed y'all laptops and went to bed for the night.
Yeah, and it's so weird because now I'm going back to my so that's why I wanted to do this live. I'm going back to my regular content. I'll pop in with a live here and there, but I just think my lives are getting a little too emotional because I'm getting a lot of stuff that I got going on, and I think a lot of people are bored and they don't have content, so they're trying to throw me in their content, and I don't want that. You know what I mean? So I'm focusing
Yep.
on stuff that matters to me, not that Dalton doesn't, but I don't know anything about Harvey, so I can't. When I was talking to y'all about Dalton, it was a history and the stuff I know. I just know this. I know where to get some good tacos in Harvey. I know where to get the bus in Harvey, but I don't know nothing about the metro. I don't know nothing about Harvey, y'all. I can't help y'all with that.
Right. Other than that, hey, that the township ship has sailed. So yeah. I
You said it
personally
failed.
I said the township ship has sailed
The
away.
township ship has, yeah, like I can't deal with all this stress that people want to, like, people that were friends aren't friends no more, enemies are friends, friends are enemies. It's crazy when I see you got a whole township official, if they see you they won't speak to you because they just don't like you because of YouTube or Facebook. Look, I got a video I dropped today about City High. We lost somebody from City High. What would you do if your girl was
What would you do if
yeah,
your son was at home
right. Crying
crying all alone
on the bedroom
and
floor.
then they had to go to Thornton Township?
and get a food box for a little bit of money, and his daddy go.
Man, no
Y'all remember
Christmas.
that?
Look,
No Christmas.
no Christmas for
How
the
that
child.
song
No
go?
Kiki Wyatt. No concerts and fun now. Shit.
So look, well, how did it end? For you, this is just a good time. For me, it's called life.
Yep.
Let's end this live with that song too.
Man, for real.
Ooh, it's
Vouch.
that is
For
like,
me, this is what I call like, yeah.
yeah. Like, so that's what I talked about today. Like I can't deal with this stuff. I'm like, I don't want
For
nobody to think
real.
I'm a victim.
For
But we gonna
real.
end this live right here. Y'all support Ryan's Gay Chicago. I don't think it's right what they doing to him over there. Please support him. He's still a neighbor for sure. If you got
Yep.
time, support him. He's a neighbor of ours. Um, look at Scott and at a y'all, y'all support us. Like, and y'all, YouTubers, I'm with Shay. If Shay is saying gather up, he's the only one that really took the step forward and said, you know what, skip y'all. I'm gonna sue the establishment. I'm
Right. Right.
gonna sue y'all. Go over there with Shay, because I get it. I get that y'all believed in one thing and thought Berg was like, when I heard Cafe said that, I said, me a bully?
Right.
I was like excited. Like, this is the first time in my life I in the league. It happened to me. I'm a
Like that. That's a new one.
I was so excited, like, oh my gosh.
It's a new
So
and different one. I got tired of being called weak. Damn.
yeah, they called me weak this whole time. Now she like, nah, Burgundy was coming for. I'm like, oh. Shout out to Conscious for doing a video yesterday. Thanks for being there, Conscious. And you was in retirement. You don't have nothing to do with this, but thanks for sticking by us. I
Right.
agree. YouTubers, if y'all out there, I don't want y'all to be like me. I was going through the worst time of my life, and life happens. You never know when, and I hope that's the last worst time of my life, knock on wood. But you never know what life gonna happen, what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So you might be in a difficult time, and all you got is people emailing you, trolling you, doxing you. I don't want that to happen to y'all.
Look, look, 13 reasons. You met you met reasons
What?
why it took that girl it was her 13th reason.
Mm.
And she took her own.
Oh, my son told me about that. Yes, 13
That
reasons.
that was
That
a
show,
very
yeah,
good show. That was a
it
very
really
good show.
was, and it made me cry. That show
It
was.
was a very good show, but yeah, it really showed. It was a nice breakdown of how, yeah, you never know what somebody's 13th reason is. But I said that to say, I know that I said this in private, but I just really want to make this absolutely known because you mentioned that beyond all of this, and I've said this to you, this is why I have an additional, besides being honored to be your friend, this is why I have additional respect and admiration for you, because it could have been your 13th reason.
Mm, you know,
Also,
yeah.
also, what I said to you in private was I have a special, even though I do not know Tiffany Henyard, I might have talked to her once or twice,
Mhm.
but I don't know her. And politics aside, I have a special admiration for Tiffany Henyard on the strength of all she needed was a 13th reason.
Let me tell you, I can't imagine having a toddler running two areas, and then having before I even start, my baby daddy leave me at. It's just crazy.
Postpartum, because that could have been a 13th reason,
And she
you
made it
know.
through. I agree. And now I think she's just sitting back looking at this. And let me tell you, choose love, respect, and everything to you for you even involving yourself where this could bring a whole energy level that you don't want, and you've been
Right.
through what you've been through. So thank you so much.
Oh no, hey, no problem because hey, hey, my experience is why I look at things different. And again, so if anybody ever want to know why I be, oh, what you vouching for Tiffany for? For me, it got to do with Burgundy Blue commentary and Tiffany Henyard reminded me of something similar that I had to go through, and the fact that they went through that and they are alive and well, that it makes me really so grateful. And again, I'm not gonna. I admire the hell out of both of you. You all are an inspiration, and I hope that you are an inspiration to someone and a lot of people in the future that since we're living in this day of the internet, that you can get through this. So to me, that's what Burgundy represents. That's what Tiffany represents. Yeah, y'all can miss me with all that other stuff because she was a woman who, and we already know what Malcolm X said, but it's all good till we want to quote Malcolm X. So
Oh yeah,
thank thank you, Burgundy. Thank
thank
you,
you.
Tiffany, for showing the future of people that may be bullied and dragged in a way that they might not be able to handle. Thank you. I
Oh,
appreciate you. Much gratitude. And I am so glad that both of you are loved, safe, well, and doing better. And
and
that's all I got to say because I know I've been too long winded on
no,
this one.
we've been long with it. Look, I can't even play that no more. I'm like, you know what? Out there. Thank you. And what you was saying, what Malcolm X said, the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
Period.
Thank you, Choose. Love you. You have an amazing day.
Thank you. I love you all so much. Wishing you love and light.
You too. Bye. So y'all, we're gonna play the what is Garden's talking about? I'm Debo. Berg is Debo. Wait, now you just started a bully rumor. What they doing over there, Asia? Hello, everybody. I miss Asia. They acted up over there. I'm so. You know what? The next Harvey meeting better be lit, right? The next Harvey meeting better be lit, right? Because they care so much about the community, and I don't think where my people at in Harvey? Come on out, like not my people, but Harvey. I used to be scared to go to Harvey when I was younger. Wow, where y'all at? Everybody raging. Thanks for holding it down. Wyoming gal, Scott, Gardis, Douglas, where you sneaky in at? Cynthia, anybody I miss? Anybody I miss? I'm sorry, I'm scrolling up. Jazzy, thank you for holding it down. All of y'all, thanks for being there. If I missed you, I'm sorry, blame it on my head and not my heart. So we lost Robbie. Let's try to think of this song with Dalton and Thornton Township lyrics. What would you do if your senator was at home with 202,000? I don't know. I can't think of it. What would you do if your mayor bought the Pope house and you were crying all alone? I don't know. In the Pope household. Okay, let's go. Love you guys. Take care of yourself and each other.
Ho, ho. Don't be calling my girl no hoe. Put yourself in her shoes. Him ain't even taking care of his kids. Damn, what would you do?
Rest in
Boys and
peace,
girls want
Robbie.
to hear a true story. Saturday night was at this real wild party. They had the liquor overflow in the cup. About 5-6 strippers trying to work for a buck. Then I took one girl outside with me. Her name was Lana. She went to junior high with me. I said, why you up in there dancing for cash? I guess a whole lot changed since I seen you last. She said,
what would you do if the son was at home, crying all alone on the bedroom floor cause he's hungry, and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money and his daddy's gone. So we're smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown, I ain't got a job now.
one with a baby, that's no excuse to be living all crazy. Then she looked me right square in the eye and said, every day I wake up hoping to die. She said, Inga, I know about pain, cause me and my sister ran away so my daddy couldn't rape us. Before I was a teenager, I done been through more this shit you can't even relate to.
What would you do if the son was at home, crying all alone on the bedroom floor, cause he's hungry, and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money and his daddy's gone. Somewhere smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown. I ain't got a job now, so for you this is just a good time, but for me this is what I call life.
Yo, wait a second, man. Something just ain't sounding right. You trying to tell me your girlfriend couldn't just go out and get a regular job? Man, this mad shorty's going through the same thing, yo. If I ever ran into your girlfriend, I'd probably say, hold up.
What would you do?
Get up on my feet and let go of every excuse.
What would you do?
Cause I wouldn't want my baby to go through what I went through.
Come on, what would you do?
Get up on my feet and stop making tired excuses.
What would you do?
Girl, I know if my mother can do it, baby, you can do it.
What would you do if the son was at home, crying alone on the bedroom floor, cause he's hungry, and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money and his daddy's gone. Somewhere smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown. I ain't got a job now, so for you this is just a good time, but for me this is what I call life.
What would you do if your son was at home, crying all alone on the bedroom floor cause he's hungry? And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money and his daddy's gone. Somewhere smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown. I ain't got a job now, so for you this is just a good time, but for me this is what I call life. Come on.
What would you do if the son was at home, crying all alone on the bedroom floor, cause he's hungry, and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money and his daddy's gone. Somewhere smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown. I ain't got a job now, so for you this is just a good time, but for me this is what I call life.
Y'all, y'all that's here that be on LNC in case I fall asleep, ask Shay to do a remix with this tonight. I would love to see, because you know he's an amazing DJ, Metro D. I would love to see how he would remix this song with something like No Weapon Form or something. Love you guys. Have a great day. Raising $5 in your books. Is that what's happening with the if she's sleeping with a guy for a little bit of money, just $5? Don't live in Harvey, and the only way to feed him was to ask Valerie stuff. She said if you needed $14, she'd give it to you. Y'all have a great day. Y'all got to remix this song. I'm going to play it again tomorrow. Rest in peace to Robbie, who we saw on Intervention. I did a video about it today, you guys. If you have time, go leave a comment on that video so it can get more traction. We do not know his cause of death, but it was a lot of drama that happened, and Robbie he been going through a lot. He's been tortured for years. He looked healthy. He looked well. It could have just been natural causes, but he passed away around his family and friends at 46. So we just wish him the best. He still had 2 young children. So yeah, check out my video. Check out other videos. Let's pump Robbie up. Y'all take care of yourself and each other. Love you guys. Bye.